yet? There is enough amazing content available on both channels. You can go ahead and cancel your Netflix subscription. See, the guys care deeply about you, so please go do it now before it's too late and they release the infected cyborg snakes.
Oh, hey. Welcome to the ClevelandMoto podcast.
Hey guys, welcome to episode number 553 of the ClevelandMoto podcast. Light 'em up, boys! And we have got a great show for you guys tonight. Super excited about it. Big show tonight. And weather's great. Everything is just peachy keen in Cleveland, Ohio. I have zero complaints. To my immediately left, we have
Dan Krupke.
And behind the boards tonight,
Steve Sleepy.
And to his left,
Johnny Mac.
And to his left,
Speedy Pete.
Coming around the corner,
Chris Smith.
And behind the bar,
Tom Pennington.
And your humble narrator, Phil Waters, here in the salubrious confines of the Ratzkeller in glorious Cam's Corners, Ohio. Technically West Park, if we want to be fancy.
There you go.
And we have a very special guest out there in the ether joining us tonight. Could not be any more excited to have Brad McFadden. Brad, are you out there?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Brad, welcome to the ClevelandMoto podcast, man.
Yeah, great to be on.
And I'm going to just read a little bit about your bio because unlike a lot of our guests, it's nice you sent us a bio. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit easier.
It is. You're an Army veteran, right?
Yeah.
What was your MOS in the Army? What'd you do?
I was a 68 Whiskey. I was a combat medic.
Yeah.
At Fort Campbell, Kentucky, 101st. So.
Oh my God! So you're really good at basically crotch rot and foot related problems.
Oh yeah, that's my specialty.
Taking care of the pink parts. Yeah. And so Pizza veteran, of course, and I'm a veteran.
Yep.
So that's great. You're in good company. You're the founder of Lost at Last Adventure Travel, which we love everything about that. That's cool. And the architect of the Great Ohio Adventure Trail, GOAT, if you're nasty. The GOAT.
Architect, that's a great word, because when I talk about Brad, I said he's the founder?
Founder?
No, the
Creator?
Creator, but right. Yeah, I like that.
The architect covers it all.
Yeah,
through the conception, through the application, right? Throughout the year, Brad hosts seasonal camp and rides on the GOAT, the Ohio ADV Summit, and lends support to the Appalachian, depending on where you're from, ADV rallies, the Appalachian, yes, rallies and guided tours, and Ohio's Waylon Wayne Weekend. Yay, Waylon Wayne. You can find him exploring the road less traveled, riding his 2023 KTM 89D Adventure. So, yeah, that's really a good bio. Thank you for sending that out. We really appreciate it. So if you know about, BDR if you know about BDR routes, if you know about literally riding your adventure motorcycle the way it was designed to be ridden, which is not the way I've been riding my BMW with the giant key. I've got TKC 80s on my BMW R9T Scrambler that will never get dirty. They're going to be the most underworked blocks in the history of rubber.
That'll never be yours. It'll always be Ewan's.
It'll always be Ewan's. Yeah, it's a bike I got from Ewan McGregor.
And those TKC 80s won't last long either.
That's good. They won't be on there long.
Yeah.
And I'll replace them with other TKCs.
Yeah.
I might go to like a TKC 76 or something. Yeah.
Okay.
This thing does have permanent vibratory experiences. So when you ride this bike or you push it through the showroom, it's just yeah, all the time.
It's like riding the back of the school bus.
It really, really is. So that's super, super cool. So tell us, if you would, about this 1,126 miles is bigger than Ohio. So how'd you fit all that in there?
Yeah, it's hard to believe, that you can have over 1,000 miles of dirt, gravel, things like that. But it's the first route developed for what we do, adventure motorcycling, overland travel. It's the first one to go from the Ohio River to Lake Erie. I mean, so you're going from the southern border to the northern border. But It's 1,100 miles, split up over 10 sections. So about just over 100 miles, on average. And it's really designed for the beginner to intermediate skilled rider, because really the goal of this thing is to bring people to Ohio, experience that small town charm, and really just walk away pleasantly surprised with how enjoyable they found Ohio. So nothing, crazy, for the riders. It's big bike friendly. That's a big question I get a lot. The big BMWs and all that stuff out there. It's really made for everybody. But goes through 29 counties in Ohio, 12
Of 88.
state parks, state forest, and all 3 units of the Wayne National Forest. So you really get a lot of everything, because Ohio does have a lot to offer.
You're taking them from toot to snoot, man. That's pretty awesome.
It is. It really is. And you get to see the big muskie.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Of which I've parked in, I'll have you know. I shouldn't admit this, but a friend of mine who will go unnamed, let's just call him Shady Pete, attempted to ride a TW200 into the Big Muskie bucket, and it didn't go well.
No.
Yeah, I went over. This guy, not me. This other guy, Shady Pete.
Would that guy be, did he try to ride it up one of the teeth?
Yes,
into it or
he
something?
did.
I see.
And the front wheel went skyward before the back wheel decided to follow into the bucket. And this guy was wearing boots suspiciously similar to the ones I'm wearing right now. And they were highlighted against a blue sky, and that's the last thing he remembers. But this guy got revenge a couple years later by parking his Honda Monkey in the bucket.
In the bucket.
There's photos to prove it.
Yeah. You'd think that getting into a bucket that it's designed to put things into it would be easier.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Anyhow.
But apparently it's not TW200 compliant.
And while we're on the subject of the Big Muskie bucket, they are redoing that whole Miners Memorial Park right now. It's going to be, they're building a big building there. There used to be just like porta pots there and like a little shelter, and there's going to be an actual visitor center there. It's going to be nice. That was cool. Underway when we were just there.
So how does this even become a thing? Like, how do you get to design a new route? Like, how did this come about?
Well, yeah, it's funny, and I've only been motorcycling for 7 or 8 years, and my first bike was a DR 650, trying to take on the Transamerica Trail. And 1 year, the big trip didn't, go through, and me and my OG riding buddy Kevin, we were like, let's just ride around Ohio, like why not? And there's a couple of routes that existed before the GOAT, and they still exist now. The Trans Ohio Trail, it's about a 1,000-mile loop that takes you around, eastern, southern Ohio, and all that. And then you also have the Southern Ohio Adventure Loop, which is a fantastic 1 to 2 day ride in Scioto County, Adams County, down to the southern part of Ohio. We actually rode both of those routes kind of in one big loop. And I got home and I was like, man, that was such a great time. What can I do to, give back to the community like those people who did those routes gave to me? And I think I watched one of the BDR films. It was, it was Wyoming or something like that. And right before that, the BDR had come out with a 10 years of the BDR kind of a documentary that they did. And the first one that they did was in Washington. And I remember watching Bryce Stevens, who's big in that organization. He was just driving around in his truck looking at maps and all that. And I was like, I could do that, And I'm looking at Ohio. I was like, well, nobody's done anything from the river to the lake, like kind of like a BDR. Every journey has a beginning and an end, for me. And so I just kind of set out one day and put together a couple roads I like to ride. And all of a sudden I was at Lake Erie.
Nice.
That's awesome.
When did you first have the idea? What year was it?
2021 was when I first started thinking about it. We did our big trip in 2022, and I released the route in 23. So
So is it an official route? Like, how does it become an official BDR route? Like, or who makes that decision, or how does that whole process work?
Well, I guess if the BDR ever called me, I'd probably think it was a prank caller on the other line, because I wouldn't believe it. But yeah, I mean, for a BDR, from what I understand, they don't like to go into places just say, "Hey, we're taking over your route," like some mutiny on a pirate ship or something. I know they like to develop their own independent routes. So I would have to imagine if a BDR ever came to Ohio, it would maybe be similar but different. It would tell its own story, kind of like how the Great Ohio Adventure Trail tells a story, that's different from, say, the Trans Ohio Trail or the Southern Ohio Adventure Loop.
Well, how do you? Okay, so I have an Africa Twin. I did a whole bunch of adventure stuff, not like Pete, but over years. And you go back, like even down in Millersburg or something, and you see these trails, and you might end up on a weird bridge or something. But like, I don't even know what maps have those. So how do you find these off-road routes that may or may not exist? Like, where does that come from?
Well, it was a lot of just staring at my DeLorme, atlas there, and looking at Google Earth online and saying, that looks like it's gravel. I'm going to go check it out, and go out and take a couple notes. And I actually, before I had my Tacoma, I had a Chevy Cruze, and that was the first scouting vehicle. And I've definitely backed down a few sketchy hills in a Chevy Cruze, but I also had a lot of inspiration too from the existing routes, where those routes they kind of get you in the area, but then I kind of branched off and just kind of explored other stuff and tried to make it as independent, as possible. I mean, there's some roads it's unavoidable. You have to kind of share them. There's only so many good roads, but just a lot of sweat and tears, and just sometimes it hits and sometimes it misses.
Hey, Brad, did you initially have points of interest in mind that you tried to string together, or did you lay the route out first and then just say this happens to be on the route? Like,
I know
the covered bridges or the furnaces or things like that.
Yeah, well, I know it all started with Big Muskie Bucket and just kind of branched out from there. So,
Okay.
no, there's a few things I already knew. I'm a big history guy, so it's hard for me to pass a historical marker. I got to stop and read and check it out. But well, for instance, like at the river, I mean, I know I already knew Ohio was very significant, in the Underground Railroad, and all the different sites along there. And I used to go boating on the Ohio River, down at the Ripley Boat Club as a kid, and I was like, man, there was something in Ripley about the Underground Railroad. So I went down there and stopped at the John P. Parker House, and of course he was a former slave who actually bought his freedom back in the 1840s, and then moved to Ripley and ran a very successful foundry. And at night, his second job was going into Kentucky and helping people get across the river and search for freedom. So when I learned his story, I was like, this is where it has to start, and of course, I learned a lot of things along the way with the iron furnaces and, of course, the covered bridges. That's a huge part of Section 10 up in Ashtabula County, of course, are those bridges. It just really learned a lot of things along the way, and just trying to figure out how to connect the dots right to the cool sites.
Well, you did a fantastic job, and the history really does shine through on the route. As you're going, you see a lot of cool stuff.
So yeah, Pete. So like you did the whole route or most of it?
We did about 90% of it. Yeah, we did shave off a couple corners here and there, and when we got up to Ashtabula, we did part of the way out to Conneaut, but we'd ridden that covered bridge site before, so we saw, I think, 5 or 6 bridges, but I think there's probably a dozen of them up there if you stay on the dedicated route.
So what was your favorite segment?
I liked when we went north out of Marietta. So you're basically in one of the sections of the Wayne National Forest down there, and it's nice. It's pretty remote. It's very hilly. You're in the top part of the Appalachians there, and that was my favorite part.
I like what you're doing down by Crane's Nest Creek, because that's an area where I've done riding before too. And when I did it, there was no support. There was nothing there other than, hey, look, there's a road. There's a gravel road that I can go on, and I'm just going to disappear up in that area. Same thing as you. I stayed a night at the Lafayette in Marietta, and then I left the next morning and I just headed north, just exploring stuff and just, taking a KLR and just putting a KLR wherever I could put it. Yeah. And I was using paper maps, and I would just fuck off, up on the road on this, like if there was any gravel path that went off to the right, I was just like, let's go explore it. And I ended up running along that Crane's Nest Creek, and it was fantastic. It was really, really cool. All the stuff that exists. And I'm looking at your route, and yeah, you've got that whole area just nailed.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Well, and what's neat about Ohio that a lot of people don't realize if you're not from Ohio is that like once you clear Columbus, it gets mountainous.
Yeah.
Like you get down by Irondale where we go to the band camp and stuff. I mean, those roads are amazing and terrain and stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah. And people don't realize this entire thing, if you live in Columbus, you're 2 hours from any part of this.
Right.
Less than.
Yeah. Less than, for sure. Right?
Yeah, less than. So you could pick any part of it and be like, okay, I'm going to do section 10. So I'm going to do section 10. That's brilliant. I mean, that's a great, easy thing to get to, and then check the box. I love this. I think that's so well organized and so well basically curated. It's fantastic.
And then,
well, in the whole route too, I guess I never really realized this till I was looking it up, but Marietta is only like 5 hours from DC.
Right.
And really, Ohio as a whole is within like a day's drive of over 50% of the population. So part of I guess the appeal of this route too is you don't have to load up the bikes and go out west to have a good experience on a motorcycle. You can do it basically right in your backyard.
When they set up, you talk about your history lessons, and we talk about the Erie Canal and what we've kind of grown up with here our whole life. Our parents would drag us down to places, and we'd go to, Edison Village or stuff like that, as a young kid learning about our Ohio history. Yeah, you realize the reason the canal was such a big, important thing was it connected the East Coast of the United States to everything in the middle. Mm-hmm. And what an important thing that was for our country, moving freight around, moving stuff around, and the history behind it. You're on the money. There's so much cool stuff that we have in our state, and I'd never thought about doing like Vesuvius, like the furnace, like iron furnaces and stuff like that. But yeah, that's brilliant.
Brad's got some fans in the chat. They're saying, "Big Brad."
You know what else is a fantastic road? When you leave the Big Muskie Bucket and you go south there, I don't remember the name of the road, but you come up over this like hillside. You're like on top of a mountain almost, but it's all open. It feels like you're in Wyoming or Montana, so it's like big sky country. Yeah. That's what I call it when I go across that road. It's just phenomenal. It's like
it's
wide open.
It's my favorite view in the whole state.
That's beautiful.
Right there. And we did the first camping ride I ever did was really just a group ride. And I just said, hey, by the way, we're camping the night before if anyone wants to join. But we had a group ride on Saturday, and I just basically just threw together a little loop. But coming up the hill and seeing that view was kind of the grand finale. And everybody just loved it.
Is this the view you're talking about? I got a shot pulled up. Maybe you might recognize this one.
Well, I don't think he can see that.
No. I can't see it through my thing. But
you're leaning against a BMW GS with a Eurocycles license plate bracket on it, and it looks like the view behind you does look like Montana or Wyoming.
Oh, that might be Arizona.
It might be. It looks more like Arizona, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see the Eurocycles license plate bracket. I've rented from them before. Yep.
Yeah.
So
that was an interesting story because I'm out in the middle of nowhere and on this rented BMW, and here comes another BMW motorcycle. So of course we have to talk to each other. This is late.
That could have been an incident if you didn't.
Right. So this is late, like 2021 or whatever, and so he pulls off. We're talking. He's from Minnesota or something, and we're talking, and I said something like, man, like this is crazy. Like everybody else would be lost out here, calling the helicopters coming to get you, and he's like, well, we're not most people. This is where we want to be, and I went home and I was like, what a great idea. lost at last. You know, that's how
Yeah.
the name like that. I wish I knew that guy's name because I'd have to pay him royalties or something.
Send him a shirt at least.
Right, right.
Yeah, that's cool.
Hell yeah.
Origin story right there.
It's
for
a
you.
great origin story.
Yeah.
It is. You instantly had my wife's attention because we are huge supporters of our national park system.
Yeah.
And your entire website is just a complete tribute to this idea of parks, recreation, going out,
Yeah.
getting out in the woods. I think you've done a great job of giving tribute to their signage and giving tribute to their font, their typeface is fantastic. It definitely sends the right message because I'm a lifetime member of our national parks. I know Pete is too. If you're a veteran, use that.
Yep.
You have lifetime membership if you're a veteran, and do it. Get into the parks, go see cool shit. The fact that you're doing so much of this in the Wayne National Forest is
Right.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. What a resource. Yeah.
Have you got much feedback from people on the way? Like when you're on the routes, like you'll see occasional other riders, but it's not like you're out on a super well traveled road. But is there anybody on the route that runs a restaurant or a hotel that says, "Wow, since you've been putting this out, like we get a lot of bikes coming by"? Like, do you have any idea of the numbers? How many people like during riding season are going down those roads per week, per month, or anything?
I don't have a exact number. I mean, I know at this point it's making a little bit of an impact because people will see my sticker like on my bike and say, "Hey, I recognize that. There was a couple people in here, last week doing that same thing, and they, bought big dinners or whatever." But I know something I'm working on is really trying to partner up with some of these county tourism boards and things like that because I want to be a resource to them, to help them in their mission of supporting their counties and everything.
Yeah.
And really with having, I don't want to say preferred places to stay, but they're partnered up with hotels and lodges and things like that.
I mean, even just
But
having,
I do know that the BDRs they did like a white paper study back in 2023 or something, and each route they did generated about $1 million for the economy, which the GOAT is not a BDR status, but if it's $10,000 a year, then hey, that's more than they had before.
Speaking of preferred places to stay, I do own an Airbnb in Conneaut.
Oh yeah.
If there's any way to give me props, I'll take it.
Yeah.
It's a 4-bedroom 1911 house. It was a duplex, so it's a big yard, big property, and not too expensive.
and just like being on the road, I've traveled, quite a bit here and there. And like sometimes when you're on the road, knowing that a hotel is cool with motorcycles, like just having
Yeah.
a list and being like, okay, you know what? We know that you want to park your bike out of the way. So we have a hallway next to the desk. You're allowed to park your bike there. Like finding stuff like
Right.
that is a game changer.
There's a Marine
Yeah.
Corps KLR 650 in the garage if you
Right.
want to work out arrangements. And we could do like a flying drive.
Flying
thing.
drive. Do you know what's funny
Yeah.
is I'm going to guess conservatively, I think I've sent 25 motorcyclists to the Lafayette. I've always used the Lafayette as sort of my base of operations for down there. And that was like 25 years ago. I was like, oh man, I'm the only guy out here doing this. And 25 years ago, I thought that the idea of hardballing down to the Lafayette, spending a night in the Lafayette, and then going out and exploring for the next couple of 3 days, it was just the coolest thing I could ever do.
The Cleveland BMW Club does a annual ride down there, and then they stay at the Lafayette, and they do day rides out there.
Yep.
So it's exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's just one of the things that definitely the businesses along the way benefit from it, 100%.
Yeah.
And I've told people before, I was like, yeah, drop my name. There's several rooms in that place that are pretty freaking amazing. And every time I've sent somebody down there, they're like, this was way better than we thought it was going to be. And I mean, Merritt and I have been going down there for 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when did you, when you finished the route, how long ago did you finish it? And then how many, do you have an estimation of how many people have run the route, or do you have any way of knowing, or by people downloading the information or contacting you or anything?
I don't have exact numbers. I know there's, of course, I'm not super duper tech savvy. I know there's ways to track downloads on the website, things like that. But we got a Facebook group for the route. It's got 5,000 people in it. So maybe maybe 10% of them have done parts of it, something like that. But yeah, definitely in the works to try to get some better numbers.
You know what? I see a perfect application for solar powered trail cams.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
We got a question from the chat. Does any part of it require a Wayne National OHV permit?
It's all public roads, so any street legal, properly licensed, registered vehicle that is legal to operate in the state of Ohio can run the entirety of the route. Don't have to get permits or passes or anything like that. I know there's a lot of confusion sometimes because the name of the route is Great Ohio Adventure Trail, and people are like, "Oh, trail! I need a pass." But the name actually comes from there was a Native American trade route that used to run between what's now modern day Pittsburgh and modern day Detroit, and it was unique for a trail because most of the Native American trails were war paths, like the Scioto Trail and all that, but this trail was primarily just used for trade and commerce and stuff, and the name of that route was the Great Trail.
Okay.
I think there's a couple of historical markers around Minerva, things like that. But I was like, man, what a cool name, the Great Trail, Great Ohio Trail, and it just kind of came out from there. But I can see where the confusion is, with folks because, but it's all public roads. As long as you got a license plate and it's legal, you're welcome.
Hey, Brad, what about when you're on the American Energy AEP lands down there? Aren't you supposed to have a permit from them, or is that just for camping?
Well, about 4 years ago, the ODNR purchased that land from the AEP, so you don't have to have a permit or anything anymore. In fact, that's a great campground down there. Well, there's a few of the campgrounds that are still free, so you can camp there for free. That's where we do our fall camp and ride down there, and it's one of the last places in Ohio you can camp for free at a campground, down there.
That's awesome.
And that's spitting distance from the bucket there. It's literally just over the hill from where the bucket is.
So when you were mapping this out, did you hit any spots that because I've been out with these guys and some other dudes sometimes, and you get to a road that's somewhere, and all of a sudden there's a guy that's like, nope, you ain't coming down this road. Did you encounter any kind of guys closing stuff off or gates that weren't supposed to be there when you were doing it, or?
Well, I have turned by accident down a couple of private roads, and luckily no bad confrontations. But I think specifically in Benton County, this guy came over. He's like, "Hey man, what you doing?" I was like, "Oh, just riding gravel roads." And he saw about 5 different maps open in my truck. He's like, "Oh, this is a private road. Like I've got 5 things here." And he's like, "Well, just follow me out. We're good, But no, the call them the handmade road close signs. I mean, that's a problem. People, just maybe they had some hooligans come down the road and they just taken it upon themselves to do that. But public roads belong to the public, and we actually had a big fight up in Knox County for Bat Nest Road. They were looking to vacate that road for a private landowner, and actually the AMA and the BDR, along with some local grassroots efforts, and I was up there. We went and basically spoke in opposition and was able to save the road, But down in West Virginia, they have actually it's backed by some state legislators. It's called the Country Roads Coalition. They actually have a portal that you can log on to and report any handmade road close signs, and they actually have to send somebody from West Virginia Department of Transportation, to go check it out. So that's something that I'm hoping to get rolling here in the Buckeye State, just to, just preserve our access.
I wondered about that because with, we had we had 7 bikes in our crew when we rode, and you go through some of those places where the gravel gets really dusty, and I just wondered, there's not a lot of traffic on some of these roads, and if there's a bunch of bikes making a lot of dust. These houses got to be just filled with dust, and I wondered how that sat with some of the people that were along the road.
Yeah, I know, something I really preach and try to get, across is that, I mean, obviously, yeah, the roads do go by people's houses. There could be kids playing out in the yard. Don't be doing wheelies past somebody's house, or doing burnouts and we're all about responsible outdoor recreation. It only takes one hooligan to kind of ruin it for everybody. It's like side by sides. I know, lots of people who have side by sides are good people, but when you think of a side by side, you think about old Johnny tearing it up and making mud holes and throwing beer cans out. Just the one person that ruins it.
Yep.
So
It's always sad because nobody remembers good deeds. They only remember the one bad. But you could do 1,000 good deeds, and nobody cares.
Right.
One guy messes it up, and that's what they're going to focus on.
But at the end of the day, I mean, what's the bike to car dust ratio? I mean, one car going
Right.
down the road or a truck or a pickup truck's going to blow way more dust than 3 or 4 bikes. And again,
Yeah.
you chose to live on the edge of a dusty road. I mean, like,
Right.
sorry, I can't help you. Because I was riding around Conneaut and I'm like, well, there's a lot of dust. I really wouldn't want to be that guy that lives in that trailer 5 feet off a dusty road. But
You can tell some of the county townships or whatever must have more money because they'll pave like 100-yard section in front of every house.
Oh wow.
To
or
keep
do a
the-
little tar and chip.
Yeah, just to keep the dust down. But then other places you go through and there's like no paving whatsoever, and then some places like every other house is. So like, did those people have to pay for their own? I didn't know what the.
They voted for the right guy.
You know what I'd
Yeah,
be doing with my oil after every oil change.
We ran into that a couple times where guys had dusted the oil or oiled the dust to try to keep it down.
That's interesting.
But we did try to be respectful when we went through some of those places where the houses were exceptionally close to the road. Like, don't
Yeah.
go through.
My grandfather's house in Volant, PA, we were way ahead of the curve on recycling motor oil. I swear to God, by the time he left that place, he had made his own asphalt.
Nice.
There was a whole special blend of 10W40 asphalt.
That was the good old days where I shouldn't call it the good old days, but before like the whole environmental movement really got the momentum that it has today. People they just poured used motor oil in the backyard or something.
Popular Mechanics would have a whole article on how to make a used motor oil pit.
A pit in your backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my job, was to take the oil pan out back and pour it on the alley so all keep the dust down, and I'd have to sit there and get it all over my fucking shoes.
So, besides the Ohio routes, obviously, have you traveled extensively, or have you done quite a bit of the ADV routes across the country?
Well, I've been pretty focused on Ohio here lately with this thing, but I spent a lot of time in Pennsylvania. My good buddy Kane Wagner runs Appalachian ADV. I do help him with some guided tours that he does. I got one in a couple weeks over in Allegheny National Forest. Beautiful over there.
Yeah.
All those little towns are fantastic.
That's one of my favorite places. That and the Blue Ridge Mountains. Between those two, I could
Yeah.
live there all day long.
Is
Man.
that the Wildcatter
Yeah.
you're talking about coming up?
Looking at the calendar, so only so much PTO at work, but
No, I said, are you doing the Wildcatter? Is that the one you're coming?
sorry, I'm sweeping the his Allegheny backcountry tour again.
Oh, okay.
So here in a couple weeks. But that Wildcatters runs right in that area. I mean, right in a cool area too, between like Oil Creek and Titusville, I think. And
That's the 666.
yeah, great area. Yeah.
The 666. I did that one time on my KLR. That was great.
Yeah, yeah,
I'd like to do that again someday.
So,
great road.
as the designer, what is your favorite section of the Ohio route?
Well, officially, I have to say I love them all equally, like they're children. But for me, I've got really a special place in my heart for Section 5. That's where the Big Muskie Bucket is. I mean, it's the most unique attraction in Ohio by far, but really just that section kind of has a lot of if I tell people to do one section, it's that one, because you do start in Wayne National Forest. So you have some of those tight little winding forest roads. And then, of course, you got that road with the great view, so you're out in the wide open. And in some cool little towns you go through as well. McConnellsville is a fantastic little town there on State Route 60. And then of course it ends in Marietta, the first permanent settlement in the Northwest Territories. So just a little bit of everything in that section.
Speaking of McConnell's, when you're in Pennsylvania, a place you might want to check out is McConnell's Mills. Is really cool.
Yeah.
Like rock formations, all kinds of cool stuff there.
Oh yeah, that's actually kind of our starting point for that tour is in McConnell's Mill State Park. But beautiful area over there.
So do you foresee any events happening around the goat? Like, like how a lot of the BDRs will have, like, I don't know, sometimes even BMW will have like their BMW thing. So everybody runs it and then kind of meets at a thing or something. Like, is anything like that in the works at all where you're going to start organizing events around the routes?
So I've developed some, we got a lot of folks, looking for like day rides, weekend rides, things like that. So I developed, complementary to the main route, I have these goat loops, which focus on different sections. And then throughout the year, I have these camp and ride weekend long events that basically run those goat loops. So in the spring, we did the Section 3 goat loop down in Lawrence County, Ironton area. And then, of course, in the fall, the Section 5 fall camp and ride out there. I make everybody get inside the bucket for the group photo, before it can fit at least 75 adventure riders. So.
Wow.
Yeah, for anybody who doesn't know, we keep talking about the Big Muskie bucket, but to anyone that doesn't know, the Big Muskie was the largest drag line ever made.
That's what John Prine was singing about. They took the whole town away.
Okay. Yeah. And then so the only thing remaining of the Big Muskie is the actual bucket, which is at this Miners Memorial Park in Southern Ohio. And you can actually get in the bucket. They don't encourage putting motorcycles in the bucket, but they do have stairs that you can climb up to stand in the bucket. Yeah. And there's a picture of an entire like high school marching band in the bucket. Yeah.
Wait, so your feet were up in the air in the bucket?
No, my feet were up in the air like
on the patio.
The other guy. That did this,
the other guy.
I haven't been there in a long time, but out in Shady Plain, Pennsylvania, where I grew up, it was strip mining all over the place. And there was a drag, like we used to hunt, there was an old drag line sitting there, and it was the whole kit. And we used to go inside there, and it's a 5-story operation inside the bucket thrower. And the way it used to move, I mean, it was still sitting on a pivot, but they would have to set up a pivot, and it would turn, and then it would walk off that pivot, and it could only just go in a straight line with these sponsons. Yeah. But when we walked up in it, there was a machine shop, there was a lunchroom, there was offices all inside the bucket, like the crane.
Yeah, unfortunately, I never got to see it in person, but I watched a few documentaries and little videos on it. It's basically an office, building is what everybody always says, like an office. And the cable to run the motors, was just massive. And what I tell people when they go to the bucket for the first time, it's like, yeah, look at the bucket, but look at the chains. Look at the size of the links on that, on the bucket. And you just imagine how massive it is.
What does that bucket weigh? Does it have it has to have a thing on the sign or something, right? It's got to be like.
I think it does, but I can't quote the numbers.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But the way those work too is like that giant bucket is getting cast out like a fishing rod. Like the thing like spins and throws the bucket out, and then it drags it back. It's silly.
Yeah.
I actually did get to see it work when I was a kid. Both my parents were born and raised in Zanesville, so we'd go to Zanesville, 6 times a year or something. And my dad took us down there one time when I was a little kid, and I remember seeing it operate.
Now,
that's awesome.
What is your recorded most inappropriate motorcycle that has done any segment of this that you're aware of? Because I know certain people sitting at this table have been known to cross country on monkey bikes.
Yeah.
So we have people here that are not entirely right in the head. And because you acknowledge that this is, beginner to intermediate, it's welcome for big, heavy motorcycles. What's been the weirdest? What's been the person where you were like, maybe not the best choice?
Well, there was this one guy I saw in the mirror one time, but he was pretty shady. But I know a couple mischievous fellas named the Monkey Boys. A couple guys, just hooligans on their monkeys. Steve and Sean, they're great guys. Yeah, there's the bucket right there.
I pulled the bucket up so people at home could take a look at the bucket.
We did have a guy recently. great guy. He's like, hey, how fast do you think could do the route? And this guy will go out and just do iron butts, no problem. And I'm like, I don't know, 5, 7 days, probably at the quickest without stopping. So he texted me on Monday morning at 7 a.m. at the Ohio River. Wednesday at 7 p.m., he texted me a picture at Lake Erie. I'm like, how in the daggone did you make it up?
I was going to say
up
3
there?
days. I think I could do it in 3 days. It was just,
Yeah.
wouldn't see much, and you'd have to keep the hammer down. But
Meanwhile, he just
They
took
don't,
71.
they don't call him Speedy Pete for nothing.
Yeah.
Without a tracker, I'd like to see that he didn't take 71. Just
yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
But
So to do it that fast, what kind of a bike was he on?
I think it was like a Super Tenere, like a 1200, something like that.
Oh, no. I had one of those. That thing's like 750 pounds, man.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was a great bike. Had zero character. It
Right.
probably would
Yeah.
have gone for 1,000,000 miles. But oh my God, if that thing got over 45 degrees to the right or left,
It's gone.
holy shit,
Yeah.
that thing was heavy. And it didn't
Yeah,
carry the
he,
weight well either.
Right. Well, and he averaged, I think, 30 mile an hour too. So it's not like he was screaming 90 mile an hour down every single road, So he's just somebody that just gets in the zone and does it, and
Never puts
all
his
power
feet
to
down.
him as long as you
Keep
you
your
know.
feet on the pegs.
keep your feet
you've
on the
got
pegs.
that.
And
You've got a red, by Crown City. I'm looking at your map right now.
Yeah.
And you've got an alt/hard route scheduled down there that takes you right down to the water. And
Yeah.
I am not joking. That is a technical road.
yeah.
That is, you're looking at the topography. For people that don't know, if you haven't been there yet, you're going to go to his website. You're going to go to lostatlasadv.com and you're going to find an interactive map there. And when you get on that interactive map, if you are like I am and just totally queer for maps, this thing is fantastic. The backtrack maps on this thing is perfect. You've done such a good job with this. And,
Yeah.
you've got topography on there that you can really get a handle on what you're up against. Really well done. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
nice.
Now, do you have? I didn't look yet, so this might be apparent, but I'm not looking at the website. But so can you download GPX files and stuff, or how are you getting the maps to the people that want to do it?
Yeah, it's a GPX file that's available right on the website. So it's lostatlasadv.com/goat. Got to scroll quite a bit, but down at the bottom is the GPX files for the main route, as well as the goat loops. So that red track you're talking about down by Crown City, that's on the Section 3 goat loop.
Yeah.
And our camping ride back in April, I basically, what I do is I split the goat loop in half and have 2 loops, so kind of splits up the crowd, and you don't, have to see the dust cloud from outer space, with all the bikes in one group. But we went and did it. We did it uphill. So just kind of hyped everybody up, and okay, who's ready to do it? And I didn't get a chance to run it the week before, and I ran it that day, and I was like, man, what did I sign up for? I'm bouncing all over the place. It's it's technical for sure.
Well, you have an elevation profile on your map, which I think is so cool. So, when you're looking at Section 3, his elevation profile is going from over 900 feet, okay, 985, damn near 1,000 feet, okay, to nothing, to sea level, right? He's doing that in some cases like less than, I don't know, a half mile, right? So when you look at your elevation profile, you've got some really, really steep climbs, especially when you get into that bottom part of the goat, the Section 3.
That's actually the main roller coaster hill at Kings Island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's as high as the Eiffel Tower.
So we got a question from the chat from Dylan Evans. He says, "What tires do you recommend for the goat?"
Round.
Well, of course, always recommend a 50/50 tire. I mean, on the main route, some people have run like the Shinko 705s, like a 70/30 tire. You definitely want, you don't want gum rubber, running mooses or something like that. But, Any Motos tire is pretty good. They're Tractionator or dual venture in the front. I run the Tusk 2-track rear in the Motos dual venture in the front. It's like a 30/70 tire, but most of it is just to make me look like I do some crazy stuff because I got the aggressive tires.
Those
But,
Tractionator GPS tires, I had a set. They were awesome. They lasted like 8,000
Yeah.
miles. Like they were good for the highway and did well on the dirt. That would be a great tire, I think.
I think you'd be happier with a more aggressive tire that you maybe suffer with on the pavement a little bit versus the other way around where you got something that's more comfortable on the pavement and you're like, it's a little sketchy, especially if you get some rain or something.
Good point.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely places like, I mean, if you ride it in the spring, I mean, those townships are out laying down fresh gravel. And if you're on a bald tire like I was one time, you're slipping around like like an ice rink out there. And it's always good to go, more on the more aggressive side, just so in case you're running some big, loose gravel, something like that, you're better off.
And I think that was part of the problem with us with the gravel being so dusty. I think some of this gravel was pretty fresh from the spring maintenance. Like the township got out there and laid down gravel. Actually, they were grading some of the places that we were out there. They had a grader in the middle of nowhere, and there was a truck dumping gravel, and the grader was following it, smoothing it out. So a lot of that gravel hadn't been run in yet by like local traffic.
Yeah.
And a lot of the lime that was on the limestone hadn't been washed off yet by some heavy rains and stuff. So there was a couple times where we were in like fresh gravel that almost felt like sand. You know how sand feels.
Yeah.
And then the dust coming off it was just incredible. We all did air filter services when we got home.
Yeah.
And took the air filter and like dumped it out. It was like a sack of Quickcrete or something. There was so much dust. But anyhow, cheap maintenance. Throw a $10 air filter in, good to go.
Yeah, our spring camping ride back in April, I went down and scouted, most of it, just made sure everything was good the week before. Well, that week, I guess that's when the townships were out because, I took some folks and I like taking the newer folks too because, I set the expectation, hey, this one's going to be a little tough or this one's not bad. So I went to the first thing. I'm like, hey, this one ain't that bad. It's a little steep, but it's not bad. Well, I started going up and I was like, wow, this is new gravel. And I was like, this is bad. I'm trying to holler out behind them, but we all made it. And it's just funny how it can change in a few days, the conditions.
And you don't know what to do. At least sometimes with that deep gravel, if you're coming down an incline and there's like a 45-degree turn and you're moving, you're not really sure what the hell to do. You're like,
ask Dave Nolan about that.
Oh, no. What did he do?
Well, we were coming to, just like you just described it perfectly. We're coming down a hill with a kind of a head of steam, and there was like a sweeping right-hand turn, but it was a little bit off camber, and it was fresh gravel. He starts like sailing wide, and he's sailing wide, and he's sailing wide, and he finally got it reeled in just in time and kept it on the road. But he was screaming in the intercom, or he was like, "I'm going over, I'm going." Dude, he got it back though.
In the Alleghenies, over by the 666 thing, I was on my Husqvarna 601, and we were flying down this gravel, same kind of thing. And I was not expecting it to go hard right. So I'm like trying to catch up to the guys because they were much better riders than I was. So a couple of those guys just threw the bike sideways and nailed the gas to go around the turn.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to do that. And I'm like, well, I can't hit the front brake. So I hit the rear brake and I'm skidding. I skidded through this dude. There was just a random house with a patch of grass. I skidded from the road through his front yard and stopped like 2 feet from like a 200-foot cliff.
No
I
boy.
was like, I think I need to get better at gravel.
Not a bad idea.
No, that shit's weird, man. Like gravel's fun, and when you start to get the hang of it, it's kind of fun because then the bike starts to float,
Right.
and you kind of get. Yeah. But there's still situations that I guess unless you have thousands of miles that you get where I ride a lot of street, so my street brain goes do this, but that doesn't work on gravel and dirt, So it's like that. It is a curve, man.
I'm 30 minutes until I get brain fatigue. I'll swim in gravel for about 30 minutes, and then my brain gets broken, and then I need to stop.
Yeah. See, I get used to it. After about 30 minutes, I'm pretty good at the normal. Give me a normal flat road or something. It gets interesting for me on downhills. I love uphill gravel. I like flat gravel. That downhill gravel can suck, man.
I say it's like you gotta get your sea legs. Like every spring you do some riding, whatever. Then you hit that first gravel road, and it feels like unstable or like you're like iffy, like there's something wrong with my suspension. I got
Yeah,
a flat tire.
that's
You
the-
get all these like weird feelings. But then you get your sea legs. You're like, oh, I remember how to do this.
Well, it's funny you said
Yeah.
legs is one of the biggest things that changed whether or not I hated gravel or not was actually Mike told me. He's like, stop steering the bike and steer with your feet.
Yep.
Like push, use your pegs way more. And that helped a ton.
Use
like
your
that,
pegs, put your knee into the tank.
yeah.
Keep your hips parallel with the handlebars at all times. The bike steers like it's on rails once you figure it out.
Yeah, it's crazy, but it does take a minute to get used to that. And then, like you're saying, you might get used to one kind of gravel, and then you get washboard or you get deep.
Right.
And it's all challenging and changing.
Yeah. And I live up in Clark County, Dayton-ish area. So I'm like 2 hours one way from the nearest like good gravel road that's not just somebody's driveway, So it's almost every time I go ride, I kind of got to get my sea legs again. Let me just have this little warm-up road here so I can get back at it, and yeah, it's just it's a feeling that you have to acquire, with standing on the pegs and driving with your knees and yeah, no doubt.
It's funny that everything's always 2 hours away. So for us,
Yeah, right.
when I put my leathers on and I go down to Southern Ohio with a bike, it takes me 2.5 hours of slabbing to get to the fun roads. So like me and my buddies will go, and you got three 55-year-old guys in full leathers tucked over.
Yeah, but now you just run it backwards. So you just run this route backwards, and you start here in town, and you can literally put yourself. And this is what I love about your map, because where we live, it is a short, and I mean a short hike to get over to Windsor Mills, where the covered bridges are, Chardon, Ohio.
Yeah.
Like when you get into that covered bridge tour, Mesopotamia Township and all that stuff, that is not far from us. Like I go further than that on Mondays when I'm delivering bikes.
Yeah,
I mean, I drive up to Conneaut. It's an hour and 10
All the
minutes.
time.
All
Yeah,
the time. So
exactly.
it's not that big a deal. And there's 20 covered bridges and
Yeah.
30 wineries,
Yeah.
don't forget.
Yeah, I mean, everybody sitting at this table, and an Airbnb. Everybody sitting at this table should know where Nelson's Ledges is.
Oh yeah,
Right? And that's not a hike. That's a really, really easy ride to get to Nelson's Ledges from where we are right now. And, we go shoot, trap, and skeet 5 minutes from where this route is.
You say it's easy, but when I leave at 4:30 for a track day and my stomach is hanging out of my asshole, it's not the easiest day.
Hey, I want to report an extra gravity vortex in Mesopotamia too.
Oh, really?
It took me right to the ground. Yeah,
It did.
we stopped at the general store there, and I had a stomach full of homemade root beer and fry pies.
Oh, yeah.
And I was backing out of the parking lot, and it was a little sloped, and like you talked about the Super T, when it starts to lean, well, it started leaning, and I was like, I said to the intercom, I'm going down, and next thing I know, I just fell over, basically.
Gravity vortex.
Gravity vortex got me, yeah.
But I'll tell you what, man, like people always compare different bikes, but going from the Super Tenere to the Africa Twin, the Africa Twin's a taller bike, but it holds its weight so much better than the Super Tenere did. The Super Tenere scared me. Like it would go through anything. It felt like you were on a tractor.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as it got into some weird positions, when that weight just got, I don't know. Maybe I need to work out more. It's always my fault, but I know that. I'm not blaming the bike, but it's a heavy bike.
I'm short-legged. I mean, my bike is tall, but I got like a 30-inch inseam. So if it starts getting top-heavy on me, it's like there's not much I can do to recover. It's like I just let it fall over.
Right. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think
That's every time I go down too is I'll be at a stop sign. I go put my right leg down, but that's where like the ditch is, and there I go.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me in this parking lot. It was like walled out where cars had been parking in the same spot all the time, and I was on like the ridge, and I went to put my foot down, and like whoop, the ground's a little further down.
Yeah, I think if somebody has like a Kawasaki KLX 300 or they've got a CRF 250. This is perfect for that.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Well,
this is
I'm
just perfect.
I'm really interested in possibly getting that Moto Marini 450,
Mhm.
and I think that would be a great bike. For
Of
this,
course it
too.
would.
'Cause
Yeah.
it's light
Absolutely.
enough. Like
Lightweight.
my dumbass, my
Yeah.
Africa Twin's getting heavy even for my knees now.
Yeah.
But I think that 450 is maybe what, like 150
It's
pounds
a
lighter.
super easy bike to ride too.
Yeah.
And there's nothing about it that's intimidating or difficult. I've got a CRF 250 F that I play around on because I want to be doing dirty dirt things, but I don't want an injury. I'm old now. I am, and it's like I've got a lot of metal in my body, And for me, this is not the time for me to be having an injury that's going to take me out of the game.
I have a great idea.
Yeah.
Remember some years ago we talked about doing the Mid-Atlantic BDR?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
On inappropriate machines.
Inappropriate bikes, yeah.
I think we should do the same thing, but this is closer to home.
It is so
I'm into
close to
that.
home. It is so easy.
It'd be like a traveling circus.
It would be a
So Brad, we had this idea. We were gonna have like one moped, and it was gonna be the bike of shame.
the bike of shame.
And if anybody like did something like got sucked into a gravity vortex or something, they would be condemned to the bike of shame for
Forced to ride the bike of shame.
for a full day.
Yes,
And
exactly.
then we were gonna have a support vehicle that would go from
Enjoy your Trail 70.
never, or like a buddy,
Right,
a
a buddy
with
125.
knobbies on it with knobbies or something. Yeah, we could just do it on some really stupid machines.
Phil, I don't understand why you don't ride your Sherco anymore.
Yeah, because I got a hole next to my scrot stack. Yeah, because I got a scar. My wife is very perceptive, and she's like, "Do you have a scar down there?" And I said, "I do."
Thanks for noticing. Huh?
And I was like, and she goes, "How did you get a scar down there?" And I'm like, "You don't remember when the Sherco tried to emasculate me?"
Well, you are
You know?
the only human being I've ever had the inside of on me.
Right.
So I've had a piece of Phil flung on me at some point.
He tore a hole open down to the chicken meat, and a piece fell out when I was patching him up, and I flung it at Sleepy.
It turns out.
Thank you. Yeah.
It turns out.
He's a vegetarian, by the way.
Yeah, so nothing like getting your friend's leg meat stuck to your face.
Yeah, it turns out if you're gonna
John and Johnny Mac's not a medic either.
yeah, it
No,
turns
but
out
he
if
was
you're gonna
doing
ride a
work.
Sherco,
I'm not a gynecologist either, but I'll take a look at it.
right? Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, it turns out if you're gonna ride a Sherco, 250 cross, make sure the seat's on it, because there's a lot of stabby metal parts coming out of the top of that bike.
They did that purposely. They did that. They have two hooks with sharp tips on the
pointing
end, pointing the wrong
way. They also put the kill switch on the wrong handlebars too.
Yeah.
So they're actively trying to kill you.
Yeah.
Those silly bastards.
The
They assumed
French-
people would only ride that bike with a seat on it.
I know.
What were they thinking?
That Sherco was definitely a bad idea. That bike was, yeah, it was a bad idea. I'm glad I got it out of my system. I'm sad that I have a scar for the rest of my life.
So,
Yeah.
Brad, do you have any further or future ambitions to do another route? Do you have anything going on with that? Or are you just refining what you've done? Like, what's your plans coming up for the next little while?
Well, of course, the route's always going to be a work in progress. Just want to refine, add some challenge sections, things like that. But really, the partnership with the boots on the ground, local governments and tourism boards. That's kind of the big thing. In the works is a like a guidebook, excuse me, that folks can purchase or whatever beforehand. That basically just says, here's all the places to stay. Here's the motorcycle friendly, this thing. Here's this Airbnb. Here's that hip camp. Something with that because. Of course, when I first released the thing, there's always things you don't think of, and things have come up through the years, and I'm like, oh yeah, I should probably list that on the website. I know it, but somebody looking at it for the first time don't know it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that and
Hey, Brad,
those...
watch this. Johnny he had no idea what's coming right here. Is there any good places to eat in Conneaut that you would recommend for, say, road food?
There's many good places, but one that stands out is the White Turkey.
I just
White Turkey. Yep.
Especially if you want good root beer and
Oh, yeah.
a unique experience.
I was just telling Brad about this earlier in the week, and I knew you would go right there. So that place is unmistakable or unmissable.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
But second, I just went down to Smoke on the Water, which is a barbecue joint right down on the water, which is special. Late evening.
Yeah.
Sit out there, have a beer. They a lot of times have some live music. Watch the sun come down. It's great.
That's the one right at the marina.
Yes, 10-4.
Right. Yeah, that's right where the route ends.
Yeah.
Is just up that gravel parking lot there.
My house is about a quarter of a mile from there. It's on Day Street.
Where are you on?
Oh wow, yeah.
What street are you on, John?
Day Street.
You're on Day, right?
820 Day
Yeah,
Street.
so like you cannot miss John's house.
Yeah.
Because you are literally running parallel to the goat, which is running straight, like literally next to your house, which is pretty amazing. So that would be a prime location. If somebody says, hey, we're going to do the goat and we're going to end up obviously where we end up. I wish, this is hilarious because it is, not joking, it is 600 feet from John's house.
If only you were motorcycle friendly, you could work this out.
Right.
I would.
Well,
love
we'll
it.
have you standing out with. We were talking about counting the people. You'd be like the Walmart greeter, just clicking
Yes,
people
click,
at
click,
the bikes
click.
as they go by.
Yeah.
I can put 20 tents in my backyard. It's on 6 lots.
Yeah. And I've always got people asking where to park a trailer, things like that, and that's on the list too. I need to find out where people can park trailers because I normally just ride everywhere and hard telling, for me. But
Right.
Talk to me. I got a lot of space.
Is your address 987?
820.
820?
820 Day Street.
820 Day Street. All right. Yeah. So it is hard to not go past
It's all coming
John's
together.
house.
It's all coming together.
Yeah, that's pretty freaking convenient for anybody who's going to be doing this event, because his backyard goes literally all the way to,
Pennsylvania.
It ends in Conneaut Creek.
It ends at Conneaut Creek.
My backyard.
Exactly right.
The
Yeah.
port
Yeah.
of Conneaut
Port, yeah,
is
the port
my
of
back,
Conneaut. Yeah.
ends in my backyard.
Yeah,
And I'm
that's
actually taking some of their land too.
Yeah, that couldn't be easier. That is hilarious. That according to this map, you're 300 feet off the course.
Hey,
Yeah.
Brad, is there anything exciting in your backyard? Something that begins with B and ends in Uckies?
yeah, funny you mention that for all the gas station fans out there. So it's funny. So where I live is this little tiny town called Medway that nobody would ever hear about, and there's actually an adult club in this town. Like it's just crazy. Like I mean, there's a post office, a church, and a strip club. So
PP and
used to
P.
just say
It's called Funkies.
quarter mile past the strip club, turn right. And but now they just built this gigantuous Buc-ee's, the first Buc-ee's in Ohio, live 5 minutes from there.
Oh my
And I
God.
tell people all the time, like, yeah, I'm like 20 minutes north of Dayton, right where 675 hits 70, and they're like, yeah, I couldn't tell you, man. Well, 5 minutes from Buc-ee's, they're like, oh yeah, I know exactly where that is. I've tried to go there 10 times, but it's an experience.
Oh man, we were on a road trip actually going to ride motorcycles down in the Blue Ridge Mountains, and on the way down, it was right after the one opened on the way down, and we made a specific stop, and it was like we were going to fucking Winter Wonder Christmas Land. We're like, oh.
I was so giddy with excitement.
I had to drive after that because he had 4 different things of meat that he was eating.
Meat on a stick, meat on a bun, meat.
Oh, sorry.
He had a complete meat schedule.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot of the allure out of going to a Buc-ee's. I went to a Buc-ee's about 8 or 9 years ago. My sister lived in Houston. She's like, we got to go to this gas station. I was like, why? And then it's at night where we pop this hill, and I'm like, are we going on the Air Force installation? All these lights, and it was 100 gas pumps, and so like back then, I'm like, man, I had to go all the way to Texas to go to this Buc-ee's. It was something I had to work for, and all that. And now there's one in my backyard. I'm like,
Right.
It's like Sheetz gas stations, you used to have to go to West Virginia or PA or hell, even Yingling beer, used to have to go to Pennsylvania to get it. Now it's just everywhere.
I
Not
remember
as cool anymore.
the first time I had to program a sandwich. I thought that was pretty high tech living, and I was like, I'm going to touch screen a sandwich. That's amazing.
I think I only need Buc-ee's like once or twice a year, maybe.
Sure.
That's just-
Yeah.
that's
That makes
something
sense.
Banana pudding.
When we were going to
Brisket on the
we
board.
made it a point to stop at the world's greatest roadside attraction, the south of the border. So if you ever you ever driven south,
Oh, yeah.
all those signs that's like Pedro says you never saw such a deal, and all these moderately racist advertising that basically got you halfway to Florida.
It's the wall drug of the South.
The wall drug of the South, exactly. But I do remember what a big deal it was. We're like, we're going south of the border, and we're gonna go in and we're gonna get food, a tank full of gas, and buy a stupid hat, and have stickers on the back of your car forever. Yeah. And
There's
sells.
something great about the Great American Tourist Trap, though. I mean, it's like it's just fun.
Yeah.
I think it's fun watching the kids. Like you see the kids and they're like, their eyes are all like, what is this? Like, you know, like that's their first time seeing something crazy like that. And it's like, I don't know, I like that.
You go down to like Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge and stuff like that, and people are like, oh, I hate that place. It's a tourist. I'm like, I want to do all the tourist trappy stuff.
We stopped it.
I want to go to, Dollywood. I want to go mountain roller coasters.
Dude, I finally
Titan-
did the go-karts. The go-kart tracks are fucking fun, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
John, who are you talking about when you say that?
Fucking cocksuckers that don't want to have any fun.
Hey, John, I'd point to the Uranus sign right
I
behind
just
you.
wanted to ride.
From the Uranus Fudge Factory.
Yeah.
Well, Brad, we're going to have
Why
some
are we stopping so much?
We're going to have some topics. You're more than welcome to stay and hang out if you want.
Sure. Yeah, we'll stick around for
awesome, man.
a while. Yeah.
We actually have show notes and the whole deal. It's
As long as we're
great.
not keeping you up late on a
Somewhat
school
professional.
night.
Yeah, no.
Right.
Well, let me just say, we love to have you. So I'm very
Oh yeah,
happy
man,
you're hanging.
and you can chime in too because this is all stuff that's just basic news for the motorcycle people that are happening and stuff that's out in the world. We're going to be going to the Isle of Man for the Classic, so a lot of the people sitting at the table are going to be heading out. And
I got my passport.
You got your passport?
It's fucking back. So now I can actually say I am going.
I'm a real boy.
Yeah.
The Isle of Man's having trouble this year. So the TT is having trouble. Daniel Ingham died as a result of the crash in practice. And I always tell people, keep in mind with the Isle of Man, it's an average of about 2.6 people have died there every single year if you tabulate the 100+ years they've run it. Sometimes it's a spectator, sometimes it's a racer. You're going to get a body count, and so please be mindful, be respectful that that this is passion for a lot of people. It is church for a lot of people, and it is a solemn place. I mean, this is this whole place, and so this year is no exception. And then he died in practice. He's a guy who leaves behind a wife and 2 kids, and
from everything you said, he was super respected by everybody. A long-time racer, very, very skilled.
And it is one of those things that we just bring attention to these riders because what they're doing is not club racing. What they're doing is not, I'm going to go to the same track. I'm going to this, I'm going to do my little 4 tracks or my favorite home track, or I like Summit Point or whatever. This is a place that it is terrifying. It is
consequences
dangerous.
consequences of a mistake are.
Can I tell you guys? I just saw this interview yesterday and it blew my mind. And I tried to save it, and I'll have to bring it up. I'll find it for next week.
Yeah.
Scientists studied this, right? They studied the riders. They had sensors on a bunch of riders. This took place over a bunch of years, right? And they came to the conclusion that the guys that are running in the elite class, their frontal lobe can't fire fast enough to make the decisions to make them actually ride the thing. It goes to the back. Which means that it's a whole different way of operating. And it's the only way that these guys can go that fast, because the decisions that are coming up on the Isle of Man, it's not a racetrack where you just get into the flow. It's like curb, lane, curb, ding, brake, dead thing, cow.
The back of the brain is your innate system. That's where everything just kind of happens automatically. They've basically fused it into their autonomic nervous system.
It's crazy, dude.
We're talking about very much in the practice session, very early in the game, we had a motorcycle in Ramsey go into the crowd and hit 8 spectators.
Yeah.
So it's dangerous on the bikes. It's also a little dangerous being there. Just being there.
That is the allure.
Is that the in 8 part?
Yeah, in 8. That's a thing. And then at Brandish, so they were at the very end of Tuesday's sidecar qualifying. Maria Costello and her passenger, Sean Parker, both absolutely shit mixed. So again, this is getting tough.
Can you even get life insurance? I mean, like wife and kid, right?
Okay.
You die in the Isle of Man, you're...
Daniel's 33 years old, right? So you're looking at this guy going, 33-year-old guy, he's got everything going for him, everything's great. It's just that what he wants to do, what his goal in life, what his main driving force is the Isle of Man. It's the TT. And that, to me, is very simply put, the most dangerous 37.7 miles on the planet. It's dangerous when you do it in a freaking, a BMW with a taxi driver who's been there for 30 years and knows every corner like the back of his hand. It's dangerous then. These guys are going hell-bent for leather, right? So it's just fucking terrifying.
And
so
to John's point too about life insurance, most life insurance policies will tell you that they're null and void if
no
you're
competition.
No competition, no motorsports, whatever.
And this guy
sanctioned or-
wasn't a schlub. This guy took victory in the seniors race in 2024. So he wasn't. This wasn't his first time. This wasn't. I'm not good at this yet.
Right. You want to
He
know a loophole, though,
literally-
Pete? Track days are training.
Track
As
days
long
are
as you're
training.
not racing.
Keep in mind, track
Yes.
days are always training. Yeah,
Right.
track days are training. It's a training session. I
That's right.
promise.
Safety training.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, please. So, guys, I'm saying, the TT, be aware of it, learn about it. There's a lot going on.
Well-
It's a lot, and then sidecars now are just.
They're gone.
Something that we loved and something we've always said. When Oscar and I went to the TT in 2009, I literally was saying, I think I need to go to this because if I don't go, they're going to take it away. Because there were already things on the books about we need to either change the course to make it safer or we're going to lose it. The insurance, they're going to shut it down. And so that was why we kicked it in the ass and got there in 2019. Then COVID happened, right? And then after COVID, a lot of people were saying, well, TT doesn't need to come back. After COVID, they said, you know what? It's too much. It's too risky. TT doesn't need to come back. We've lived without it for 2 or 3 years. We can live without it forever. And it's back. But the sidecars, 2 major sidecar crashes. So the Crow brothers, which we're talking about, these are people that are really, really good at what they do. They have the perfect equipment. They know exactly what they're fucking doing, right? But people are going to get hurt on this event. This is not, it's not like the weather is particularly bad. It's not. It's great.
Well, I saw a video today, and I don't know if this was them or not.
Yeah.
But it was somebody hauling ass, like 6th gear flat out, and then it just took off.
Yeah,
It hit
so
this little
there's-
crest and flipped up in the air and then just turned into a puff.
So I have to caution everyone when it comes to YouTube videos about incidents at the Isle of Man. Most of those are fakey fake.
Okay.
Here's the Isle of Man, in the way they broadcast the news, they will say there's an incident and they will give you very little data until they have everything sorted the fuck out. They don't want to report anybody as hurt or injured or dead or put bad information out because everybody has families. So when I looked at that video today, that video was from a crash 7 years ago.
Oh, really?
But they were attributing it to the
even
Crow
like,
brothers.
Like Cycle Drag even posted it. Like, I mean, like
Yep.
it was posted by big.
I
that's why-
understand.
yeah.
It was posted by a lot of things, but then when I actually looked at the source material for that crash, that was a very, very old crash. And if you looked at the spectators along the route, you'd know that it was a image from quite a while ago. But in any case, there is an interesting self-censoring that goes on at the TT where, out of respect, an abundance of respect for the families, if you don't know somebody's going to survive or die or perish or what the deal is, they just don't post. They just keep it to themselves. And there was a fatality when we were there. And of course, here we are. We're tourists. We're there as enthusiasts. We're here to watch the race. And when the rider was killed, we just wanted more information. We're used to the American news cycle. Like, if you don't have the facts, make them up and we'll alter them later in post, right? And they don't. They really do not put any information out until it is nailed down. And I think I respect them for that because it stops the ambulance chasing. It stops the whole, hey, this guy did this and it was that and everything else. Nope, they're going to stop and they're going to investigate and they're going to evaluate before they put the story out. So if you're shocked that you haven't seen 75 videos of the motorcycle going into the crowd of people at Ramsey, it's because out of an abundance of caution or an abundance of respect, they don't put it out.
But how do they control the audience? Because you have to.
Because
think.
once you're there and you understand that it's fucking church, you instantly become on your best behavior. And I've seen people that are complete fucking asshole shit mix. Let's get drunk and woohoo. They're the guys to wander out onto fucking turn 3 at Mid-Ohio because they had too many beers at lunch.
Yeah.
They get to Isle of Man and they're like, no, we don't fuck around here.
I'm on Reddit right now, just kind of following up, kind of looking for more info. And there's a guy that's I've been a marshal of the Isle of Man TT for years, for 8 years.
Yeah.
And 8 spectators died very recently. Ask me anything, and his entire personal feed is his fish tank.
Right.
There are no pictures.
No, there's no pictures. So there is something about the mutual respect and the dignity and the honor of being there, it is not a place for sensationalism. It is not a place for, oh, look, I caught this slightly blurry angle that could be a sidecar in the air or it could be Bigfoot, and I'm going to post it on all my socials. Yeah, that's going to get self-regulated. And if you're not sure that Isle Man self-regulates, walk out onto the racing surface when you're not supposed to walk out onto the racing surface. Walk out past a yellow barricade to like pick up your sunglasses you dropped in the road. 7 people will tackle you. You will be tackled summarily by 7 good Samaritans that will grab you and pull you back off of that asphalt. Your kid is a little fuck knuckle and your kid wanders out on the road. That kid is going to get one step out onto the line, so to speak, and there's going to be a shit ton of good Samaritans grabbing him. And you remember there was a drunk that wandered out onto the racing surface right by the start finish, actually, last year. And the guy was just a fucking dumbass. The guy had a perpetual case of the dipshit. And I guess everybody there that knows him knows he's a dipshit. And he wandered out into the course and like it was like a grade 7 takedown. So I like that they do have that respect. I think that's great.
Awesome.
It is. And it is cool that when you get there, it kind of gets into your head a little bit. And you're like, oh yeah, this is a lot of really, really great, amazing people died here doing the thing that they love more than anything else in the world. And families have to deal with that. Jesus Christ, you say the word Dunlop on that place and you have to genuflect and pay money to a ferry, right? So there is church. I mean, it definitely is a church thing. So yeah, and to see Maria Costello, she's in serious but stable condition right now. Yeah, these people are the queens and kings of what they do. You're not going to find people are better at racing a sidecar around a racetrack than these folks. So the fact that they're talking about stopping sidecars, that sucks.
Yeah.
Is she related to Abbott?
Abbott and? Yes.
Costello?
Yeah. Abbott and? Yeah, so that's it. And so what they said, they're just stopping any further sidecar sessions for this year after an immediate technical and operational review. So precautionary, but doesn't matter. Like you said earlier, it costs a lot of fucking money.
That's what I was thinking.
It costs a lot of money to be there as a spectator. Imagine bringing your race trailer. Imagine bringing your race team and the ferries and the boats and everything else and the years and years and years of practice.
That's what I'm saying. Like, even if they gave him back the fees to be in the race, everybody's losing $50,000, $100,000 just in travel.
And they are setting lap records. They're setting records this year. Every time bikes go out, it's a new record. So, in case anyone says like, oh, the weather's not great. No, the weather is great. And you got Channing Tatum there. They're filming a movie with Brad Pitt. There's all kinds of stuff going on. I've seen pictures of a motorcycle and a helmet that's all rigged with fucking cameras.
Yep.
I
saw the Channing Tatum jumping off the bike and the stunt rider jumping on
of
it
course.
as the camera panned away and then he rode
hell
off.
yeah.
That was kind of fun.
100%. Yeah.
I mean, I get it. I get it.
Yeah. I think the biggest mistake anybody could make would be to go out there and Guy Martin's situation and just be like, I'm a great rider. I got this.
Yeah.
No. You're never going to be that great of a rider. Yeah. So that's a thing that's going ape shit right now. And then Indian. I have several podcasts I listen to, several news agencies. Indian has divested itself. It is no longer a part of Polaris. It is clearly going to go out of business in 5, 4, 3, 2. They didn't get the memo. They did not get the memo that they're going out of business. They just started a performance parts division that is all about how when Triumph created the BCF? The British Classic Factory?
British Customs
Factory, where Triumph was like, we'd really like to get in some of this illegal aftermarket, non-DOT, non-EPA compliant market shit, but we really don't know how to do it. Screaming Eagle, could you give us any tips from the Harley-Davidson brand?
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, just don't put Harley-Davidson on it. You got to call it Screaming Eagle.
I really wish I could rip all that crap off of my thrust.
Sure. But Triumph figured out a way to sell the customers parts that are EPA illegal or NHTSA illegal or whatever, way to make your bike illegal and still buy it all at your Triumph dealership. How cool is that? Well, Indian done figured out the exact same thing with their Aero.
Oh.
But you have to spell it differently. It's American Racing Operations. ARO. Aero. Because reading is fundamental.
Yeah.
And that I thought that arrow was pretty good that they're doing that. And they're doing slip-on exhausts, which of course are coming from Terry Vance at Vance and Hines.
Oh.
So they're not just bringing in bags of shit from China.
Well,
And
but if
then-
they're Vance and Hines, they're probably going to meet compliance too, then, right?
Ask Super Trap how that goes.
Depends.
Yeah.
Well, if they're for track use only.
That's
I mean,
the whole deal with Super Trap was everything they sold said for competition use only on it, and it got hung on the walls of dealerships, and we all have it.
Yeah.
And then somebody went into a dealership once and went, "Do you sell those?" And the dealer was like, "You bet your ass we do." And they were like, "Well, that is completely not road legal anywhere." And yeah, they got Super Trap got sued for $73 hojillion. Yeah, almost sued out of business because of something that is a bolt-on naughty bit. Yeah, so it's a thing. Yeah,
say bolt-on naughty bits again.
Bolt-on naughty bits. I stole that from my British friend Sam Locke. Yeah. He's you got a bunch of bolt-on naughty bits for your Vespa. Yeah, does it with a Coventry accent. It's better. So I think that's cool that they're doing that. I think it's.
Am I getting sick from you now?
No, something happened when I got down here. I did not have an issue until now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure it's.
Can you say
yeah.
Ebola?
Yeah.
It is.
I did just get back from Africa, so
there you
go.
You cut it from your Africa twin.
Yeah. There you go.
So anyway, that's cool. And I mean, it does give me some confidence because if you have a motorcycle company, and we've seen a bunch of them, that's going out of business or circling the drain, you don't launch a new performance parts division.
What about if you have an electric motorcycle company and then you buy a electric dirt bike company?
Yeah.
You want to hear about this one?
Yeah, I mean Harley. I mean Livewire. I mean Harley.
Yeah. They just bought Dust.
They bought Dust. Yeah, they bought Dust.
Oh no!
I thought there was.
Again?
Did you say they bit the dust?
They
Or bought the dust?
They bought the Dust.
So wait, they did it again? I did not know this.
Yeah, I just got the email this morning.
It
There was an
happened
email this
pretty
morning.
quick.
Wow.
Harley has a storied history of dirt bikes and dirt bike related, imports and co-branding and whatnot. So they're trying it again.
I've said a million times, I don't know why Harley Davidson isn't selling everything Harley Davidson.
Right.
Harley Davidson quad runners, Harley Davidson side by sides,
Harley Davidson
look at what
generators and lawn implements.
Harley
Look what
Davidson
Polaris.
bowling balls.
Golf carts.
What does Polaris do? They sell everything. Harley Davidson Wave Runner. I'll buy one. Sure, come on.
It'll break
No,
down.
I won't. But
It'll break down the middle of the lake. It'll be perfect.
But you could.
And keep in mind,
If
guys.
Triumph can build a motocross bike, why can't Harley Davidson? You know what I mean? Like
Ducati just did.
Ducati just did.
Yeah.
And they just won.
Yeah.
I think
heard.
Harley Davidson really enjoys operating in a niche where it really doesn't compete with anybody.
Right. And that's the trick
Except
about
for
this.
used Harley Davidsons on the marketplace.
So Dust Moto, did anybody look into it?
No.
I read the article.
So Dust Moto has sold zero motorcycles. So, oh no, that's not zero brand.
Yeah.
Dust Moto has sold less than one motorcycle.
Actual
Yeah, they have sold zero actual motorcycles.
No motorcycle.
That's an appropriate name.
that's
for a
not a
company,
motorcycle company
Right.
then. That's
So
a
you
name.
cannot say you're entering the electric off-road business by buying Dust Moto when Dust Moto's customer list is exactly, let me check, nobody. Okay? So this just tells me that you are looking at investment capital maneuvering or whatever, right?
I had to sneak it in.
Ponzi scheme.
Saying that you are buying, right? Keep in mind, I want to make sure everybody understands, Livewire, the company that just bought Dust Moto, a company that has produced exactly zero motorcycles. Livewire sold 650 motorcycles last year.
That's almost 2 a day.
I think that's less than Janus.
Now, hold on. 650 planet-wide from a major motorcycle manufacturer in the United States. And then when we push that number back, that we're talking about 3,000 motorcycles over the past 5 years, which would mean an average of about 600 motorcycles per year.
Ever sold.
Right. Now, if you grab me and 2 other dealers that I can name, we have sold more than that.
Oh, sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
So 2 other people that we know that have staffs of less than 7 people have beat that number. Okay? And we don't claim ourselves a motorcycle manufacturing company.
Right.
Right. And we're not trying to convince somebody that we are the new arm of Harley Davidson. And yet, with our total staff of 11 people, we've sold more motorcycles than that in the exact same period of time. So when you get a news story published on every major outlet that you're doing great because you just bought the electric dirt bike company Dust Moto, and they say things like, "Oh, the Dust Moto Hightail weighs less than the 450 and a little more than a 250, and it has 42 horsepower." It has none of those things. They've never sold one.
Oh, God. Now,
Okay?
I want the tiniest little dirt bike called the Dust Bunny.
The Dust Bunny, exactly. There should be a whole line of these things. The Dust Devil.
It's called the Honcho.
Honcho,
Did
exactly.
you see that?
I'm gonna have a competing company and call it the Dust Buster.
You don't have to design your motorcycle from the ground up when you can buy Mission Motorcycles to do it for you. You don't have to design your motorcycle from the ground up when you can buy Bramo and have it done for you. And you don't have to design your Honcho from the ground up when you can buy Dust Moto and do it for you. This is all about shenanigans. Here's the trick. Livewire in Q1, January, February, March, somehow successfully lost $20 million. Ooh. How the fuck do you lose $20 million in 90 days?
Well,
Have you ever seen that movie called Brewster's
Brewster's Millions?
Wait, but how many? 500. What do they sell for? Because that means if
What,
they
Dust
only
Moto?
No, you said they lost
Livewire.
right?
Yeah, Livewire.
Where
you said
is the
Livewire sold 500 motorcycles.
No. I'm saying
where is the tally count
Not
now
the first
for the
quarter.
average cost of one Livewire produced? How much does each one cost?
Okay, guys, keep in mind that when I say Livewire, you guys are picturing a $20,000 motorcycle.
Oh, you're talking about the mini bikes.
Oh.
Everything that they sell that has a fucking battery in it is a Livewire.
Oh, so when you say 550
It could be the
bikes-
little balance bikes for the kids.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
I didn't know they sold any of those.
Okay, yeah, they do. It's a big part of their thing, the Stasic bikes.
But I don't. How many have they actually sold? I know that was a big part
How
of
does
their
that
hype.
count as a motorcycle?
Now, I'm going to say it again, that in 90 days, the first 90 days of 2026, Livewire has lost $20 million. And with the profits from that, they bought Dust Moto.
They're overachievers.
Now, in the first quarter of 2026, the first 90 days, Livewire, a globally acknowledged American company selling motorcycles that got a giant grant from the United States government, in the first quarter, 90 days, they sold 33 motorcycles, meaning Renee and I kicked their fucking ass. Okay? Me, Tom, and Renee.
I think I've got more out of service than they sold. I know I got more bikes out of service than they sold.
Based on their own admission, ClevelandMoto has sold more bikes than Livewire.
Wow.
You know, if I started building bikes in my garage and you started selling them, we could compete.
We could totally beat Livewire right now, and we wouldn't lose $20 million.
I'm willing to say Janus probably sold more bikes than that.
Yeah. Now they do say that the Stasic, the little children's bikes, they do count those separately, and the Stasics, they do say they sold 3,900 of those.
Okay.
The children's toys.
It seems like
It's a children's toy.
Seems like they're in the wrong market if they're trying to call themselves a motorcycle company. Like the bicycles seem to be doing well for them.
Yeah. So in 2025, they ran only a $73.8 million operating loss.
Pocket change.
Pocket change. Yeah. Exactly. So the whole idea is like the Dust Moto Hightail, right? You know, if you look up,
are they buying like 4 corporate jets a quarter?
Yeah, it's mostly just hiding the money here, there, and everywhere
I guess.
else. Right. Exactly. So when I did the research into it, when I saw the news report, I was like, how much does a Dust Moto Hightail sell for?
How much does a Harley Davidson factory
and it's
cost
11,000
to build?
Oh. So it's $11,000 for the Dust Moto Hightail. But again, I had to correct myself because that's an estimated retail price. Because I'll remind you, they've never ever sold one.
Do they have a rendering or something?
Yeah, of course.
Does it look halfway decent?
It doesn't matter.
Well, they got to have something for all the investors that they're.
Dude, it's all AI.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
all
sure.
AI.
I'm sure.
Oh, the
Yeah.
Harley Davidson AI Center. That's what they're
Go
spending
ahead.
all the money on.
Throw it up.
Let me see.
It's not
Okay.
even good AI.
It looks just like what was the first one? The Alta or
Alta Motors.
Alta Motors.
yeah, it looks, that's
Alta
what it looks
Motors.
like. It looks
Yeah.
like that.
It looks like all of them because they all are exactly the same AI.
That's
That's
true.
exactly right. Yeah. If you look
Paint
at
that
this,
orange, it's a KTM.
if you look at this image, there's a lot of things missing on it, like gravity, shadows, things that make things real.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, the
Yeah.
fact that it's still in grayscale mostly.
It's in grayscale mostly, and the tire
they
and the
didn't-
tires and suspension are both experiencing zero gravity
They
right
didn't
now.
pay for the upgrade.
Yeah. So yeah, it is what it is. So again, this is more just bullshit. This is
Look
more
at-
just a way to
there's no
keep
chain.
your name in the news.
There-
Oh, yeah. No, this is a mess. We understand this is a mess, but it is just trickery. That's all it is.
Has
It's a scam.
Vapor been trademarked
It's Vapor.
yet? Can we,
It
can we
is
just create Johnny Mac's
Vapor.
motorcycle and bicycle company?
I love it.
And
You
call it
feel
Vapor.
free.
Yes.
And the
So
first
Vapor.
one will be called the Wear.
That's what we just said. Years ago, we joked about ordering a whole bunch of scooters from China. We were going to call them the Caveat Emptor. And we're going to cost at $299 per bike. We're going to sell them for $12.99
All
per
we gotta
bike
do
and
is
make
get somebody
$1,000
stupid
per
Harley to
bike.
buy us, and we'll be in the money.
Harley buys us and we're in business, man. That's it. That's all there is to it.
Yeah,
No,
the
you're
Vapor-
not. Anybody Harley buys, they're out
Vapor-
of business. In,
Oh, yeah.
in
The
6
Vapor
months.
Wear is
100%.
totally slated for 2027.
Yeah. I love it how they're like the Hightail prototype, which is previously available for pre-order
yeah.
at $10,950 for pre-order. Damon, think of all the bikes that have been available on pre-order.
Oh yeah.
We're also offering solid state batteries.
We're also doing the Leo program.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to do all kinds of pre-order shit. It's
Dude,
going to be
if
great.
half of the electric bike manufacturers and motorcycle manufacturers got together just in a room for like a couple
Yes.
of weeks
Yeah.
and talked before they all went individually into business, we might actually have one working motorcycle.
No,
Like,
but
you know,
we
all
would
these
lose $1
different
billion.
bikes. Think about it. How many bikes
You
have
don't
you
ever
seen
need to
announced?
actually build the motorcycle. You just do a startup. You get absorbed by something like Harley Davidson.
Lightning,
You cash the
Damien.
check.
What's up?
It doesn't
Lightning,
matter.
Damien. There's so many. Dust, Rust, whatever. What was the other? The
Energica.
Sondors, Energica.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Energica. Oh, I had a guy call. Apparently, there's an Energica in some like Copart listing or something somewhere. And this guy calls me up and he's like, "Hey, so tell me, how much is it going to cost me to buy a battery for an Energica?" I was like, "Hold on, let me look up Rocking Horse shit." Okay, yeah, come on, dude, fucking get with the program, man. Yeah, just because you saw it listed and you're like, "I think I can get it for $6,000,"
Hey,
I'm
Phil,
like,
I've
I
got
wouldn't give you $500 for it.
I've got a 20-year-old zero dirt bike.
Right, yeah.
How much is a battery
right.
going to cost me?
Yeah, yeah. You can't buy it. No, literally, you can't buy it.
You can't buy it.
You can't buy it. It doesn't exist. Yeah.
There's some guy in Illinois building.
You can make one. You can have somebody build you one.
Exactly.
But that's it. That is the end of the game. So ouch. Yeah, that's fun. And when you consider of all the weird shit that's happening in the motorcycle industry right now, this is one of those, weapons of mass distraction right now where Harley is like, please report on anything for our company that is lightly positive, because if any of the real stories get published, people are going to see how fucked we are. Yeah. And this whole thing about
They're going to see through the smoke and
Well,
mirrors.
they're going to see
and dust.
The good news is the Sportster 883 is back, so that's going to save the company.
Well, again, and that was that the story about the Sportster 83 was exactly one news cycle. And then it was like, okay, well, that was the good news for last week. So what's this year's good news, or this week's good news? This week's good news is we've bought Dust Moto, a company you've never heard of because they have produced nothing.
Right.
Right. Exactly.
What's your take on this, Brad? Are you a hardcore Harley fan or anything like that? Have you ever owned one or? Electric bikes. How do you feel about electric bikes?
It's funny. I've been watching, trying to get into some of the like enduro racing and motocross racing because I own a KTM, so I have to be, a fan of that. But
Ready to race.
I'm watching this enduro GP over in Europe, and of course you got two strokes and up the hill, and then they got the electric bike. It's like up the thing. But no, Harley. I went to the museum a few years ago. I was on a business trip just passing through Milwaukee, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna stop by here. I was surprised, pleasantly surprised at like how rich Harley's off-road history is. I mean, all the flat track racing, enduros they
Hill
used
climbers.
to do.
Hill climbers.
Yeah,
of
hill
the day.
climbs, all that stuff. And
And it evaporated.
yeah, I wish they get back into it, and I feel like here lately, it's just more selling a brand, than a good performance motorcycle. But it's a good American company, and I just kind of wish they'd get things together and quit buying Dust Moto and all that. But last I heard, they had some CEOs trying to turn it around.
Yeah, exactly. And that is what everybody's really saying is like, okay, the last CEO
They always
couldn't
have
be
a
worse.
new CEO trying to turn it around.
Also true.
This is his gambit. He's opening with the Dust Moto move.
Well, you got to do the work, and then they did some work. I mean, they came out with new motors and stuff like that. But keep going with that, build a liquid cooled
Dude,
450.
They teased that fucking Harley sport bike, like a couple weeks ago? I would buy that in a heartbeat if that came out. That looked amazing.
I think they should build a special edition bagger that costs roughly $100,000.
And as long as it has CVO in front of it,
That'll
people will be dumb
fly
enough to buy
off
it.
the shelves.
The Pan America is a fantastic bike. I mean, I got to ride
Great.
one, and I'm like, Jesus Christmas, what the
Yeah,
hell?
I didn't realize that those had
Great
150 horsepower.
150 horsepower.
Yeah.
Brad, are we aware of any Pan Americas that have done the GOAT?
Seems like it
I
should be
don't
a
know. I've
bunch.
seen a couple on camping rides, but I'll have to find the first one, get him a prize.
There you go.
If you ever get a chance to ride one of those, it's a treat. It's a handful.
Yeah, I went to. They used to have those IMS shows, and I went to one down in Nashville. First year they had the Pan America, and so I went and rode one, and the only bike I'd ever ridden to that point was a DR 650, single cylinder, and I'm expecting to go out in some group, like the Yamaha guys. They all went out in a group and wore vests and all that, and Harley was like, "Yeah, just go up here and follow the arrows," I'm like, "You're just gonna let me take this thing out?" And anyway, the last part of the little test thing was getting on I-40 for a minute, and I hit the throttle, and I'm listening to of course, on a DR 650, I mean, going 60 mile an hour is about Mach 3 on that thing. But I get on the throttle, I was like, why am I passing all the cars? And I look down, I'm going 95 mile an hour. I was like, oh, God. But a really great bike for their first foray into adventure bikes. And they did all the right things, too, with, like, the accessories, like their Harley-Davidson suit. They partnered with Revit, who's, I mean, one of the best manufacturers and stuff. So they got all the right pieces. They just got to get the gears going the right way,
And, that's just a weird thing because, like, if you look at it, like that bike is so well respected. Everybody likes the Pan America. Why didn't they take that motor and slap it in like 10 different versions? Make a sport bike, make a cruiser, make a fucking. Like, how the GS
Well, they
has
made
the
a cafe
adventure
racer.
version,
Stay in
I'm
your
sorry.
lane, Harley.
I'm sorry. They made images of a cafe racer.
That's what I'm
No,
saying.
they brought one out to
I think-
one show in Portland.
Take the Pan America motor and put it in everything.
Everything,
Side by sides, quad runners, jet skis, a boat, a golf cart. I don't care. Put it in everything.
Yeah.
Mount it sideways on the front of a Morgan three-wheeler.
Do that.
Just do something.
Right. Just do something.
Just more of that engine. That's what I like. Yeah.
But unfortunately, kind of like what they've done with a lot of other bikes, the adventure segment, the big popular, the new hot thing right now is the middleweight / light middleweight bikes. But Harley stays tried and true to the big boy.
Ground
And it's
pounder
like, man,
bikes.
if they came out with a midweight 700, 800, I mean, that thing sell like hotcakes, but just stay into the old reliable, and sometimes you gotta adapt.
That is a good idea, man. If they made like a half of that bike or 700.
Well,
or
they
something.
made an 883. I mean, like make an 883.
Oh no
Yeah,
shit!
Right.
Did something about the
A new 883,
30
but
I'm
make it
thinking
build it on, use the
306.
architecture from the Pan America motor to build
yeah,
a baby,
And think about it, man. You don't need that much horsepower for that size of a bike. So if
No,
if it is
you need we're not letting them up on the horsepowers. We still need horsepowers.
No, but you're gonna have it though. Think about it.
Well, if you don't get 150, if you get 70, That would be fantastic.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're going to have 70, 80 horsepower, but it's perfect. Like, an 883 would be perfect for that fucking size bike.
A lot of people have made 83s.
I was going to say there's 883 scramblers
Yeah.
all over, not all over the place, but it's
Well, if it didn't have a giant lump of cast iron,
come out with the
paint
883
can
X.
shaker in the middle of it.
Cross country XC cross country 883 with the new Pan America mini motor.
Call it the skillet.
All right. Now we're cooking.
I like that. Yeah.
Stay in your lane, Harley.
Yeah, that's right. Stay in your lane, Harley. Yep.
Don't you go changing.
So, Brad, where can people see you next? Where are you going to be if people are interested in seeing where you're at?
Well, got some tours coming up with I'll be in the Allegheny here middle of next month. Planning on making it to the inaugural Hog Rock Adventure Rally in Cave and Rock, Illinois. So one of the guys that runs it, his dad, I guess, the big Harley thing that goes down there, he's using it on a separate weekend. It's going to be at that same place. Great forest roads in the Shawnee National Forest and Mark Twain area down there. Of course, I'm finally going to get to see my boys at the 304 Detour. A fantastic dual sport rally in Fairmont, West Virginia. The Tall Boys and Track Masters, if I'm allowed to talk about another podcast here.
Of
Great
course.
guys.
I think
Great
they're
guys.
in the chat. I'm pretty sure they're in the chat. Man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, feel
great.
free. Give them a shout out. 100%.
Yeah, Tall Boys and Track Masters, just super good dudes.
Met those
And
guys down
they host an
Bullseye.
event every July. Part of the Fairmont Dual Sport Riders. Anyway, just excellent terrain. They do such a good job. I've been making excuses for years, but I've ran out of excuses. I'm going. Yeah.
Could you tell me more about what's going on in the Alleghenies and how that looks? I mean, like, so you say you're having it's a rally kind of thing. I mean, like, is it just dudes show up and we're gonna go? Like, how does that work? Or is it more, you got to register? There's I don't know.
Yeah. So the thing I'm going on, it's a guided tour that's put on by my buddy Kane with Appalachian ADV. So he has like 10 spots. He opens up, you're on it, he has like a newsletter email list. And anyway, he opens up registrations and it sells out pretty quick. And he's had people from all over attend. But yeah, we all meet at the park, and he's chartered through the AMA. He's got a recreational charter with the ADF and all that. And he puts on a good tour. You're getting a lot, for your money or whatnot. And I'm just happy to be there and take all the dust at the rear, making sure nobody falls out and all that. But he does a lot of stuff, like his Wildcatters rally coming up. Yeah, that's kind of a sign up and all that. But like my stuff in Ohio, I try to register mainly just to kind of figure out how many people's going to be there. I don't want to plan for 20 and 100 show up. But they're all free, and some people just wake up and decide to show up to my thing, that day anyway. So it's all good. But yeah, lots of good events. And of course, now that my stuff's getting a little bigger, I think somebody's asked me to go to an event about every weekend. This summer I'm like, I got to mow the grass sometime.
Yeah.
I never mow my grass on the weekend.
The
I
neighbor kid,
mow it in the after work because on the weekend I don't want to be out there playing around with grass.
I was gonna say the neighbor kid will do it for about $15. Just own up to it.
Yep.
I don't know. I like playing around with grass.
I hear you. I like mowing my grass, but I try not to just be like, well, I'm going to take my Saturday and do some grass mowing.
Right.
No.
Exactly.
I like to blow my clippings on the road to piss off those Harley guys.
Yeah.
Clippins.
Had to lay her down. That joke's old.
Yeah, I was going to say that one's so played out at this point.
And see, it's programmed. It's like fucking advertising. I've heard it so many times. When somebody says Clippins, I automatically say, had to lay her down.
My license plate surrounding the back of the buddy is actually the Clippins had to lay her down.
And it's a funny thing too, because it's like in my entire life, I'm like, okay, I ride a lot of roads where like, yeah, there's trimmings on the road and that kind of stuff. We'll go a little wide in the turn or whatever. But I have not, knock wood, I have, riding the roads, riding the Dragon, riding a lot of places where there's a lot of fresh cut grass. And people know in Ohio there's 2 seasons. There's snow blowing and lawn mowing. And that's it. And if you're traveling anywhere in the rural area, you can tell how long somebody's been poor by how many dead riding tractors they have in their yard, right? So if you've got 7 or 8 riding tractors on blocks in your yard, you've been poor for a long time. You're really good at it.
There's some stellar collections on the goat, I must say.
Yeah.
I think a couple of times we were driving through like a junkyard. It was like sprawled from one side of the road to the other, and you're like riding right through it. You're like, this is what I came for.
This is what I came for. And you have to say, like, okay, my family has been on government assistance for 18 years. We have 16 acres and 7 dead lawn tractors, okay? You can change those numbers around. And you can have 1/2 of an acre, sell 17 and a half acres, have 1/2 of an acre, and live well for 7 or 8 years, right? Change the order of your life. Because if your job that you're spending 80 hours a week doing is mowing the acreage of the crop you can't make into cash, right? All you're doing is growing grass that you need to mow, and you clearly have been through $70,000 or $80,000 worth of lawn tractors in the past 20 years. You need to change your entire dynamic, but there's money to be made there. You just need to shift the numbers around.
There's weird shit. So a year ago, when me and Mark were hammering down there, I was on my Tuono and he was on his Ducati. We went flying down this road, and I thought it was this one road that I had scoped, and it wasn't. So when we hit it, we were doing about 90 miles an hour on this turn on road.
Yeah.
And then it went to straight gravel.
Yeah.
And so I just stood the bike up and was sliding down. We went right through the middle of a hare scramble race.
Oh, Jesus.
So there's like other people going this way and this way on hare scramble bikes, right? So we're like, fuck, because I can't make it back up the hill that I just slid down.
You went
'cause
down.
I'm on fucking Rossi 3 tires.
Right.
So we go up all these different roads, whatever. We get out into this holler that's fucking like probably a mile or 2 away from the gas station where everybody goes in Millersburg. And what you're talking about, there was a trailer, and there's a dude sitting on what in front of the trailer was about 9 pallets, and that was his porch.
That was his porch, right.
And then next to that was a mountain that was about 22 feet tall of Coors Light cans.
Oh, my
So
God.
he just sat there and he just drinking like this and
Coors
go,
Light
and throw it over there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he worked. I don't know if he was on SSI. I didn't see a car with wheels on it.
No.
So
he's there.
Yeah, but that was an adventure that day.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. His job is to drink Coors Light.
Yeah.
And apparently mow grass.
When the mound gets tall enough, you take it to recycle and buy more Coors Light.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
I am
was
a
like,
beer
that
filter.
That dude's got $1,000 worth of beer cans sitting there.
Right.
Maybe that's his bank.
It could
That's
be his bank
account.
It could be.
I'm not knocking it, man. I could just sit on my porch and just drink Coors Lights.
I'm a little
For
jealous, to
3
be
years
honest.
straight. For at least a couple years, just like, hey, what's up? Look at this mountain of Coors Light.
You
I
know,
just
you should
created.
do that in Conneaut and just like watch the people going by on the
I
goat.
did that for the last 3 days is what I was doing. It was great. It's actually like, because I had some friends come up and I didn't work on the fucking house, and I sat around and drank beer.
I think I found a whole new business opportunity. It's called the Top of the Goat B&B.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's the top of the goat. And that's
dude.
what it is.
You got it. Oh my God, dude! If you set up like some power stations in the back for powered camping,
John knows how to bury an extension cord.
Feel free.
Yeah, exactly. Don't threaten him with a good time.
You bring me people who want to do things, and I will help them do
He'll
things.
put 15 amps on several poles out there. Shit, if you give John the right motivation, he'll have a drive-in movie theater there by the end of the week.
Saturday nights could
man.
feature Sleepy and John playing and singing
Playing
their favorite
guitars.
hits.
Yeah. That would be the goat welcome wagon.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I love everything about this.
I do too. I don't hate a single bit of it.
No.
And I
Well,
seriously
Look. They turned 11 miles of back ass country road in the middle of North Carolina and Tennessee into one of the most visited roads in America. And you saw me the first time I went down there. I was like, this is my fucking driveway in West Virginia.
how we get to my house. Yeah, that's it.
The only thing I can say about that, though, is the roads in Conneaut. I mean, yes, there are dirt roads, but they are straight. They're not. There's some fun stuff, but I've played around there and everything like that. It's never going to be the tail of the dragon. That's all south. But if people are coming in from out of state or something and they needed a base camp, But then I guess obviously if they park equipment there, they'd have to come back.
The
Which
goat
is more than fine with
Yeah.
me. But, you know,
The goat has to end somewhere, and you are located at ground zero.
yeah.
Well,
I mean,
But
That
the
would be
same thing
great.
is when we did the goat, we went from here down to Ripley.
Sure.
So we had a nice full day ride to get down there. We stopped, had a good lunch, but we rode nice 2-lane highways all the way down there, and it was a very enjoyable day. And then we came back. So
Right.
it is like a one-way route, whether it's north to south or south to north. And is there a a preferred way to ride it, north to south or south to north, or have you laid it out with one way in mind?
I laid it out for people maybe to ride south and north, because I think there's something like, I don't know, popping up and seeing the big body of water there.
Right.
It just
Yeah.
seems like a nice finishing thing for me, you know. But yeah, plenty of people ride it north to south, and that was a tough thing with the route too, which Appalachia basically ends at US 30. Everything south of there is good. Everything north of there, unfortunately, those darn glaciers, came and flattened everything. But at least you get to about Parkman, you start getting at least gravel, and then you do hit the covered bridges and all that stuff. And I know I have some people go north to south. They're like, hey, I'm like halfway into section 9, and this is just. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, just keep going. It gets
It
better.
gets better, I promise.
yeah.
Well, it does turn out, according to Backtrack Maps, that if you're going from south to north, 62% of your stop sign turns are right-handers.
Okay.
So that makes your world actually really easy,
Sure.
as opposed to if you're heading from north to south, where they'd be left-handers. So you'd be going cross traffic. So based on UPS driving rules, south to north would actually be better.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's and it's nothing that
I can
except
say
for
it.
I use as strategy when I'm planning things.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, when I'm doing routes and stuff, the more right-hand turns I can get, the
Yep.
easier it is for the group to work it out.
That's we always laid out the BMW test ride things, always right turns.
Just big,
no
big
left turns.
yeah, exactly. So it benefits this to go. I think it benefits your adventure. I think south to north is definitely the smart way to do it.
But
Yeah.
so it is just like a lot of the early BDRs where they were just point to point across a state. So you have to leave a truck or a trailer in the middle
Yep.
and go up and back and then circle back to it, or leave it at one end or the other. And
Oh, I think 4 guys leave a truck down in Maysville. You leave a truck down there, and then you leave a truck in Conneaut, so you have a start point and an end point. Because as the crow flies on the freeways between those two cities, it's only 3 hours and 20 minutes.
okay,
So you could literally, drop the. It's like when you go on a canoe trip.
I'm thinking tubing rules where you have a truck and trailer.
Exactly right. The tubing rules apply to this. I would say institute the canoe rules. Yeah, because that would be a really good way if you had people meeting here to do this road.
You have a cut down redneck bus.
Yeah.
You just load all the bikes in the back
Right.
of it.
I think you could park like 4, maybe about 4 cars in the driveway, but then as many as you wanted in the
I was going to say in the backyard you could put all the trailers.
backyard, front
Yeah.
yard, whatever.
Yeah.
Nobody
Eventually,
cares.
I'd like to get get linked up with some business or church or somebody with a big parking lot. To kind of partner up. Kind of in the middle. I don't know, Zanesville or even around Salt Fork. Or
Zanesville
even
has
West area.
the family.
Happy family or whatever.
Yeah, family. Friendly Hills. Friendly Hills
yeah.
Campground in Zanesville is extremely well located.
I just remembered something I have to ask if you know from down there. All the guys do you go on Adventure Rider magazine or adventurerider.com at all?
Oh yeah.
So all the dudes from down south, when I had that Husqvarna, I used to try to go ride with like those BMAC dudes and the Chaz dudes and all those guys.
Yeah.
Those guys are fucking insane. Like I mean like all those dudes down there that grew up in those areas that have been riding those hills and stuff like that. Like guys don't understand how fast those guys can go on gravel. It is
Yeah.
scary, man. It is unbelievably scary. So but
It's
that
like
was sick.
it's like going to a hockey game and you see them in person. You're like, oh my god, these guys are fast.
Yeah.
It's like going to watch people that are good on motorcycles. Like first time I went to like a a hare scramble or something, right? It's just watching people just fly through the woods. I'm like, boy, if I could go half that speed, I'd be I'd be all right. You know?
Yeah.
But,
Oh, the first time I entered a hare scramble, and in 20 minutes, I realized I had better just stop doing this right now. It took me 20 minutes to realize that the 9-year-olds were creating serious, life-ending potential danger for me. I was like, yeah, I need to not do this. I'm not good enough. I need to back the fuck away.
Yeah.
I'll go and play around in the dirt and, explore and just navigate and just move around at low speeds. No more.
Yeah,
No more than
I
going
mean, there's
fast.
something about drifting a dirt bike at 90 miles an hour on gravel.
Yeah, it's
Like
done.
that's just more than I need to be doing.
Yeah,
Like,
it's done for me.
Yeah.
This is more my speed, and if Speedy Pete's, if he's leading, no.
Oh no,
No.
I take it easy.
I'd be in the rear with the gear. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the last thing I need is,
I'll have you know, Brad, that I tracked our rides on Rever, and
Yep.
the first 4 days we did 27 miles per hour, 27 miles per hour. The next 2 days were 26 and 26 miles an hour, and that's an all-day ride. That's from the time we left the hotel in the morning till we shut off at it. So that includes lunch stops, gas stops, everything else. But I think that was a pretty good pace.
that's a really respectable pace.
And that was the last day we made better time. I think we were almost 40 miles an hour average the final day because the roads are straighter. There's a little bit more pavement, and,
Right.
But that gives someone a barometer of what they could expect to cover the route.
yeah, I think because that's the thing all the time. It's like, well, how long does it take? And of course, the thing was designed, like for me, like 120 to 150 miles in a day is a good day on gravel. I'm ready to set up and cook dinner at the campsite or whatnot. But people ride different paces. I mean, there's some people that can do 200 miles a day, easy, no problem. So that's 2 sections. You also have people who's like, oh, I could do 400 miles a day nonstop. It's like, well, good luck, but you could do that too. But what I tell people to try to set a realistic expectation is 7 to 10 days. You could combine like sections 1 and 2 have a decent amount of pavement in it just because you got civilization and everything. Combine those, 9 and 10 have a decent amount of pavement. You could combine those, as well. And then I would tell everybody, make sure you spend 1 day doing like section 6 because there's just so much good riding. You don't want to really speed through it. Maybe section 5 as well, because you want to stop at the bucket and all that stuff. But I did it in 23. I did it in 8 days. It was perfect pace, and I was filming, for YouTube channel and stuff too. So I was having some stops and things I normally wouldn't. But 8 days is usually what I tell folks.
Yeah, I think that's really fair. I think that's that's
Well, I
pretty
mean, it's a
neat.
commitment, but it's not like an uncommittable commitment.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
oh, I'm going to do the TAT. Okay, well, I got to take a month.
Well, it could also be like,
whatever.
especially if you're anywhere in the state of Ohio or somewhere nearby, you could do it like the way people do the Appalachian Trail. Like this month, you do 2 sections.
Right.
Next month or 2 months later, you get some more vacation time. You do 2 more sections, so you don't have to do it in one straight run through. So you could.
Well, the fact that he's been so thoughtful is to put things in here that are true parts of Ohio history. The ski vending machine. So I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with some of the delicacies of Ohio. The Roman burger, of course. We are all fans of the Roman burger.
Is that the egg salad vending machine?
No, it's a pop machine that sells a type of soda called Ski. And Ski is a real legitimate beverage that's been sold for ages. I'll just bring it up so people can see it. Maybe you're familiar with it as if from your childhood, or maybe not.
That was in Zaleski, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Zaleski.
Yeah. And it's one of those things. It's definitely not Mountain Dew. It is very much. It's closer to Squirt in its flavor profile. It's definitely citrus based.
And that's a regional?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And that's one of those things that it just, as a kid, I remember when we would head into central and southern Ohio, my dad made a big deal about, oh, we can get ski down here. You know,
Yourself a ski beverage and go over to the Moonville Tunnel.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's bottled in Wellston.
Is it?
Just outside of Jackson? Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah.
But,
I mean, that's cool. But it is
It's
one
funny.
of
I just randomly found that pop machine, and I was like, I'm on a mission to make this the most famous vending machine in Ohio. The most famous pop machine.
Oh, I love
it. Actually, about a year ago, there's a building they opened up this Moonville Market and down there, and of course, want to support them, so we're gonna start steering people to the Moonville Market, as opposed to the pop machine. But and then they changed the branding and they made it look like retro cans, and I put my 3/4 in and I'm like, oh God, I've reached the expired ski from 1980 in this random vending machine. But that was just new branding. But yeah, it's like a Mountain Dew and a Sprite.
it is
kind of what I tell
it's
people.
definitely Sprite flavored for sure. Yep. Yeah, it's a funny thing. It's just like weird Ohio stuff. It's just funny stuff.
Well,
a double cola. Yeah.
Well, that's the fun thing. So me and Smith had talked about this, and as soon as like the weather stopped sucking, I was going to do some videos for my YouTube channel with him about, is this going to be a ride in history?
Yeah.
Because when we were out at the Janus thing, when we were test riding the Janus, and I was doing that interview, he stopped and then gave me a whole history lesson about the building that was there with the gun ports on it and stuff. And I was like, well, this would be a fun video. We should do that. We should ride to historic places, and then we get the Chris Smith report on what the place is.
That's a good idea. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
nothing wrong
Swing
with
and a
that.
miss.
I got a ride idea. It's called the Dam Bridges Tour.
The Dam Bridges tour.
Let's just go to Dams and Bridges.
Dams
'cause
and Bridges.
There's some cool ones in Ohio.
There are plenty.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there are absolutely plenty. Yeah, it's funny. Like hitting on this is such a fun thing because for Ohio is proximal to the vast majority of the United States of America. Like we're easy to get to. And that was part of the joke years ago when I used to go to 14 or 15 rallies a year. And the reason I could go to 14 or 50 rallies a year is because Cleveland, Ohio is 7 hours from anywhere.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
And it would be nothing for me to go to DC. It's nothing for me to go to Chicago. And even on a slightly longer trip, Atlanta. But, NYC is not a problem. Toronto, Ontario is easy. It's remarkable.
La Crosse, Wisconsin.
A little bit more of a hike for sure.
Well, Madison's 8 hours.
Madison's 8. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what I do with maps.
Unless you take the Badger.
Brad will back me up on this. I'm a map guy. Paper maps.
Paper maps.
I mean, I love me some GPS, yes, but I love me some paper maps too. And I've taken a compass from Cleveland, Ohio, and figure out the map scale, and I draw a circle 200 miles out. 400 miles out, 600 miles out. And if I want to go on a ride, I just look at like what's on these circles. I'm like, okay, I got 2 days or 3 days. I can go 600 miles. So I look at something that's on that arc, and I'm like, I pick a place to ride to, and that's where I ride to. And then, but by swinging that arc, you know how far you can get basically.
Yeah.
So like Cleveland is the bullseye, and then these concentric rings, 200, 400, 600 miles away. And
Let's call them orbits.
Orbits, yes. Yeah,
They are.
I like that, Johnny.
I was 17 years old in the Army National Guard because I was delayed entry program. And this old Vietnam vet guy that hung around our National Guard group, right? And I wasn't in regular Army yet. I was in delayed entry program. So I was just going in for the weekend and the 2 weeks out of the year. And I had this old guy teach me the magic map trick. So you cut your map. And
You fell for that?
Yeah.
Only once.
Come over here, buddy. I want to show you something.
Close your eyes.
So the accordion, he taught me the accordion map
Feel
trick.
the magic map.
And so when you're heading west, you actually unfold the map to the left. And when you're heading east, you unfold the map to the right. You unfold the map north or south. And the map becomes just a piece of origami. And it takes a 4-foot wide map and folds it down into something that fits in your back pocket. And it was funny because he taught me that when I was 17 years old. When I went to my permanent duty station in Germany, and we were using the 1 to 50,000 maps that the military gave us. It's a pretty big cocksucking map. And when I started to do a magic map cut on it, my S2 guy was like, "What the hell are you doing cutting up that map?" And I was like, "Wait till I'm done. You're going to fucking love this." And when I showed it to him, and he's the S2 guy, he's the map guy. Like, he's the guy where you go to get your maps. And when I showed it to him, he's like, "I have never seen that." And I was like, "I do that to everything. SO maps. I cut SO maps into magic maps."
Same thing because before GPS, you would fold maps up and cut them to fit in the map case.
Yes.
And then you'd unfold
Absolutely.
them. I'd have the pages numbered, like, okay, this is map number 1.
Exactly.
I drove off that map. I go to map number 2. You know.
Yeah,
You're making your own triptych.
You're making a
Basically,
triptych.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
exactly what it is. The Magic Maps thing works great, and if you like paper maps, you can just have it on your tank bag. And if you're heading west, you just literally fold the pages to the left. It works perfectly, and it covers a huge area.
And someone else has saw this because I have a atlas that's laid out exactly that way. It says right on the atlas, designed for the way you drive. And if we drive off page 39, you flip it over, you're right on page 40.
You're page 40. Exactly. Yeah, and it's east to west. The atlas is laid out correctly, so directionally left to right.
Well, it's the same thing, though, too. If you drive off the south, like the bottom of the page, it'll say, like, no, it'll say... Say you're on page 42, it'll say continue on
to 88.
82 or something,
exactly,
whatever. Yeah,
yeah, that's a good built thing. But yeah, if you get a chance and you want to look into that Magic Map or military cut maps, it's a really cool way if you are a person that likes maps, or like I like map as a backup. So I like having a map of the area I'm going to be in, just as a backup. You know, phones get dropped, GPSs quit working. You know. Especially if you're like me, and I think my Garmin is circa like 1999. Yeah, even my Zumo is like a 2005, right? This shit's getting old. It might be time to just have a piece of paper in your back pocket just for fun.
Well, and it sucks because everything updates so much that you hesitate to buy a new one until your old one is so dead. Because you're like, all right, I know, okay, it came out in January, so there's going to have a V2 in fucking June. Like, it's insane how fast stuff is now.
I like a topo map because I can get a better idea what I'm going to be up against at the end of the day. And if I see an area that's got a bunch of lines on top of each other, I'm like, okay, that's going to get tough. It's going to get tough at the end of the day. Maybe I don't want to schedule that. Maybe I want to save that for the next day. If you see a lot of ups and downs in an area in close proximity, that might be one to save for when it's bright and sunshiny out, as opposed to when it got dark an hour ago. Yeah.
Right.
Not a bad thing. I think I love this whole thing, and I just like the way you've set it up with there being so many individual routes that you can choose from to just be like, hey, guys, this is what we're doing. We're going here. We're going there. I'll meet you at Atwood Lake, you know?
And what was that website? One more time for anybody to listen.
Yeah, so if you're lost and you need to know where you're going, Lost at Last, which is great because the word lost is literally in it. Yeah, you know, that's my favorite thing is literally telling you that you should be lost. That's freaking fantastic. So yeah, Lost at Last Adventure Travel, and there's lostatLastADV.com. Go there.
My maps are the best. You're guaranteed to get lost.
Right. You know, a question I do get a lot. You know, talk about paper maps. I love using paper maps to plan, just have a nice overview of kind of the area. I mean, I used to read the Rand McNally, you know, atlas in the back seat as a kid, you know, but get a lot of people asking about paper maps of the goat, and I've looked into it. You know, kind of when I first started out. I mean, it's about a $8,000 to $10,000 investment. You know, if you want to talk to Butler Maps or Purple Lizard, or you know, for the licensing and all that stuff. But thanks to Pete here, we did actually have the first goat paper map with the ClevelandMoto logo on there. You can see that. So
that's perfect.
He was nice enough. I can't unfold it in this little screen I got here, but he was nice enough to trace out the thing, and it was such a nice thing. I'm probably gonna frame it or something, but ClevelandMoto branded too. So
yeah, perfect.
First ever and only, you know, paper map out there.
That's actually the second only. Yeah, I kept the first one for myself.
The second, yeah.
You got the one with the little mistake on it. He just did that.
Actually, the first one took me, I'm gonna say a couple hours to like trace it out because I had to go from the GPX file to the paper map and back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah.
But then the second one was very easy to replicate because I just used the first one as a template.
And I like what you did because I used to, something my grandpa did when he rode Harleys. He had a DeLorme Atlas and he would just highlight every road he's been on. He just wanted to see how much he could do, you know. And I started doing that myself, just highlighting roads in the Atlas, and still got a ways to go to catch up with him, but But yeah, I just love the paper just for, just something physical in my hand to flip pages and then just folding this thing out on the floor. I was like, wow, this thing's a long way. It's a big map.
Yeah, sometimes you don't get a feel for what you're about to do until you see the whole thing. Even like when you look at a route, that's one of these bad things about a lot of like the reavers and stuff. Like when it wants to, you're like, oh, I want to go on a 4-hour trip and stuff, and they show you this donut, and you're like, oh, I could definitely do that. And then you actually get out on the road, and you're like, this was way much more than I thought it was.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Like there's something about seeing it laid out that is like it makes your brain kind of put it all together. 100%.
Yeah. Nothing good happens after 4 p.m. either on a bike, and that's me when I'm thinking, it'll just be a quick ride around the block, and all of a sudden it's dark and can't hardly see, and it's raining, and
oh yeah.
But yeah, it's easy enough to zoom out on a computer screen or on an app, that's not bad.
Yeah.
But you look at paper and you're like, that is actually a sizable distance.
What's crazy about when you're riding in places like that too, like down with the mountains and everything, a lot of times you don't think about it because you're like, okay, the sun goes down at 7. But now you're on the fucking east side of the mountain and it's 5:30 and you still have an hour to go and shit gets dark quick. Like you got to take things into, like when you're thinking about, okay, I can make it in another 30 miles or 40 miles. You might really not want to do that.
Right.
When I saw you taking a sip before, I thought, is he drinking some brown liquor? But I think that's more like a Pete's tea.
I just fancy a sweet tea, extra sweet.
Extra sweet.
Extra sweet.
Oh, wow.
Little extra sugar for the podcast tonight.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to sleep, but no regrets.
No regrets. That'll be fine. Well, that's cool. Thanks so much for being on, man. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, that was a good
This is
time.
a really fun podcast. We really enjoyed it. Anybody else got anything else?
No,
No,
man,
sir.
I think that's it.
That's
Except
it,
for,
man.
I definitely want to ride that.
Plans are. We're gonna hatch a plan or two. If you do want a 1 to 50,000th paper map, they do sell them. The USGS, our United States government, will sell you a 1 to 50,000ths of a lot of different places. Rocky Mountain National Park, Yellowstone National Park. A lot of the national parks are covered by USGS maps, and they're going to set you back a whopping $9 each.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you can get some really cool. If you're a person that likes paper maps, these 1 to 50,000ths and 1 to 125,000 maps are cool to have around. Even if you just like looking at maps, even if you just want to hang them on the wall. I know a lot of people that do. I'm married to one of them.
Yeah,
she loves maps, man. And give her a 50-inch wide piece of paper with a whole lot of information on it and a little plastic compass, a little plastic map guide on her, and my wife is just going to be in her glory. She's going to be coming up with all kinds of new shit on the road trip. Believe me. Yeah, nothing makes her happier. And I found one for Yellowstone, too. So it's
nice.
that's pretty cool. Lots of good roads in Yellowstone.
My brother's out there right now.
Thanks so much for coming on. You guys ride fast, take chances. Get us out of here, Johnny Mac.
Bum, 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 bum,
Jack, get us out of here, Sleepy. Hit the red button. Yay.
Thank you, sir.
Cheers.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
good.